is, and I can only imagine.
All right, we're live now. We're live now. Fuck.
Sorry. Want to show.
I think it worked.
Like retarded. By showing actual Hollywood.
How are your holidays, man?
Is it not working? What the fuck? Oh, there it is. It's on. Okay, fuck. Finally, sorry. All right, we're live now. We're live now.
Oh wow, this is bigger than I thought.
Okay, we did it. Sorry. Now I gotta.
Did anyone see 1917?
Yes.
I did. I didn't like it.
I liked it, but I didn't. I think it lacked like any impact for me. Like Dunkirk was PG-13, but it felt more visceral for some reason for me.
I thought it was.
Was 1917 rated R?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising.
It was a prime example of style over substance.
Yeah, like cinematography was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but I feel like that's all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even like that huge on the cinematography. It felt really gimmicky and just like it didn't really add anything to the movie, and I just couldn't.
Exactly, because I feel like with something like Birdman, I feel like that works because of the energy and the tone of the movie.
There's also like a thematic purpose to it in Birdman.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I just felt like 1917 was just a very forgettable movie.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of like, it felt like an Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu movie without the emotion. It felt like it was really trying to be, but it just couldn't be.
Yeah.
I can't wait for his next film.
It's kind of felt like that Victoria movie that came out a couple years ago.
Which one?
I don't know. It wasn't like a French movie. I can't remember.
Victoria?
That was a.
Yeah.
That was like German, yeah.
Yeah, it was German. That's kind of how I felt about it.
Can you still hear my mic or?
Yeah,
I can hear
it's
you.
pretty good actually.
All right, having a lot of technical difficulties today.
God. I can't select tiers on the posts anymore.
That's weird.
Damn it. Well, people are gonna have to get here through their messages then. I guess you guys did, so the message sent fine.
Yeah, for some reason it wasn't on the main Patreon page, but that's all right.
Well, yeah, I can't select the posts. So, like, I can't select the tiers. It's not letting me deselect the $1 and $5 a month ones.
I'll be right back. I gotta go grab a tape measure.
Why do they always change shit that works fine?
It doesn't even look like a different design. It's just not working for some reason, and I don't know why.
I also felt like Jojo Rabbit was very bad, like weak.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what movies I'm excited for anymore. I just sort of wait for directors I like to come out with movies.
Like,
Yeah,
The only thing I'm like super excited
that's the way to do it.
The Mr. Rogers movie wasn't very good.
Thank you, Goo Thanos.
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all.
I made sure to avoid it. I could have seen it at TIFF.
Wasn't there an
not to
actual
see it.
documentary they released this year?
Yeah.
The documentary is like 2018, I think.
Yeah, it was technically the year, and it didn't even get nominated for documentary, didn't it?
I heard
it was great.
Really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I might check
It
that
was
out
awesome.
instead of the Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
The Tom Hanks one, he wasn't even in it. He was in it for like 20 minutes.
I know.
Oh, really?
He was a side character.
The main character was like a cynical asshole journalist who treats his wife like a piece of shit, and we're supposed to really care about him because his dad is like an abusive asshole.
They jokered Tom Hanks. They put him on all the promotional material and then just cut all out.
It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'd give it a. It did a bunch of weird shit too, where I don't know. The main character must be like a paranoid schizophrenic or some shit. Because at one point he like walks into Mr. Rogers' studio, and then all of a sudden he's like the size of one of the puppets. And he has like bunny ears on, and Mr. Rogers is talking to him, and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
That sounds weird.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The director
I'd
was the same one who did I think it was Can You Ever Forgive Me?
That's exactly why I didn't watch it at TIFF.
Oh,
I don't know what happened with her. She made there was this movie she made, The Diary of a Teenage Girl, and I really like that one. And then after that, she hasn't made anything else that's been good.
Sometimes, I don't know. I feel like directors can also be dependent on like the other people they're working with. Because one of my like there's problems with Can You Ever Forgive Me that I mean like if those were fixed and they're not even necessarily directing problems, they're kind of like more general production problems. If those are fixed, then it could be a better movie. Like, you know, some of the writing, the way music was used was really bad. So it's like, I don't know, if a director's working with other people early in their career that are, you know, that do a better job with the music, and then they like the directors themselves have no idea what to do with the music and they just kind of let other people do it, then it's really going to depend who they're working with.
She only wrote the first one. She didn't write. She only wrote The Diary of a Teenage Girl, and the best part of that movie was the script. And then she didn't write Can You Ever Forgive Me or A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
You'd think if she was a great writer, she would tinker with those other scripts.
Yeah, like she's a really, really good writer.
my mom and my sister liked it, but I'd give it a 4.
I'm
Give it
just
a 5.
I'm waiting for Jennifer Kent to make a truly like great movie, because The Babadook was okay, and then The Nightingale was just okay.
I loved The Nightingale.
I thought it was the first like 30 minutes are really good, and like I legitimately got like really angry with what was on screen. But like beyond that, the movie was just boring to me. It was just like there's nothing going on. It just sort of seemed meandering.
Did
you see it, Adam?
Yeah, The Nightingale was like a lot more ambitious than Babadook, and I liked it better than Babadook.
Yeah,
and I thought the ending was great, but there's some. It just a lot of it felt like kind of weirdly edgy and a little sloppy here and there, like inconsistent accents, but. Yeah, I got invested by the end of the movie, but otherwise, like everything was like really just barely above the bar, but not like exceptional.
Yeah,
I
do like that they opted not to use any non-diegetic music. I thought that was really interesting, and that it grounded everything. But then like the rest of the movie, just nothing happens, and it's like, okay. That nothing happens, and then the end of the movie happens, and then it's over, and it just felt like kind of like that was it.
Yeah, we'll see what she does. Like, I would consider that to have been an improvement over Babadook, so who knows, she might get a lot better.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a quickie on The Grudge?
Yeah, Damo's editing it right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 10 minutes long or some shit.
That was the director of The Eyes of My Mother, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of a review and not a quickie then.
Yeah.
Really loving these trending games on Steam.
I was a little disappointed by Uncut Gems, to be honest.
Why so?
Yeah, I loved it.
Well,
I loved it. It's one of my favorites.
It's kind of a personal preference, but I've never been wild about the Safdie brothers' idiosyncrasies. Because I did enjoy Good Time, but it just kind of, I don't know, I guess with the whole shaky cam and the close-ups, it's not like a bad style, and it does kind of help with the claustrophobia feeling of it, but it does kind of take me out of it, because it kind of reminds me that I'm watching a movie, and it kind of takes me out of the world.
Interesting. I didn't feel like there was nearly as much of that in Uncut Gems, to be honest.
My viewing of Uncut Gems was ruined because I missed the first half hour.
How did you do that?
Well, because this weird guy, I went to a theater that my sister works at, and this weird guy sat next to us, and my sister poked me on the shoulder and said, "That guy has been stalking me." and we had to like get him thrown out first.
Oh damn, that sucks.
That's horrible.
That's lame.
And I think he figured out I was with her, and I'm pretty sure he called me a faggot.
Nice.
But so
And when the manager found out, he was fucking fuming. Like,
oh god, that sounds awkward.
I still have yet to see a bunch of the movies that people are raving about, like Uncut Gems and Parasite.
I love Parasite.
You gotta watch Parasite.
I loved Parasite. It's my second favorite movie of the year, next to Lighthouse.
I'm just afraid to, because
2019 is such a great year, but I feel like it's kind of been hit or miss to me, because I feel like a lot of movies that people hail as a masterpiece this year,
One second.
like disappointed, but that might have just been because they were so overhyped.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you always have to have realistic expectations, or maybe they're just not for you. I don't know.
I didn't hear the buzz about Marriage Story at first. I only heard people who didn't see it thinking that it would be as bad as it looked to them, and then I watched it and I was all like, holy shit, that was actually amazing.
Yeah, I saw it at TIFF.
Yeah, I had a weird. Yeah, that's like bad, because I thought I was not wild about Marriage Story, but I think that was just because I thought it was a little overrated, but that was probably just because of the overhyped.
Someone's mic is being really weird.
Yeah, I'm hearing this weird popping.
But
For the first time last year, I had I didn't have to wait really to see all of the movies that I was excited for, because I went to TIFF and I saw 18 in 5 days. It was awesome to see you, Adam. There.
Oh yeah.
But
No
yeah,
problem.
it was really weird because nothing was overhyped for me, so I just got to just see everything without like any sort of buzz behind it.
Yeah, sometimes you get a bit of buzz at a festival, but
That's kind of why. That's kind of why instead of like top 10 lists or top 5 lists, I like to do rankings, because sometimes you never know what the year is gonna be like. So that's why I like to do rankings. But
what do you mean?
Because I don't. Well,
No set number.
Yeah, because I feel like I have a top 5 favorites of this year, because there were 5 movies of 2019 that I absolutely loved, but I don't really have 10. And if I just made something that's just 5, it just kind of feels too short.
Okay.
But if I make a list, it also just tells me what I like, because there are some movies, a lot of the movies this year that I saw, I was like lukewarm about, and then there were some bad ones, and then there were some good ones, and then there were some that I loved.
Yeah, I hated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I can understand why people hate it, but I really love that movie.
That's my 5th favorite.
I didn't get to see it.
Did anyone see The Lighthouse with commentary?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh,
you know what sucks?
Is it on the Blu-ray?
Yeah, I got the Blu-ray. It was pretty interesting.
I picked up the Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet.
I pre-ordered the Blu-ray, and I didn't get it in the mail yet, because I pre-ordered it like 2 days before it came out. And
I wish he said more about.
It's coming out on the 24th to my mailbox. I'm like, what the hell?
I wish it was 4K, because I just got a 4K player recently.
I wish every good movie was out in 4K.
Better with
see every pore on Willem Dafoe's nose.
What did you wish that the commentary talked more about?
Oh, I just wish he went into more depth about certain things. Like he would mention how the birds were real for the most part, but he didn't comment on certain ones that I was really wondering about, like stuff like that.
Are you able to kind of say without spoiling it, or what do you mean by certain ones?
Without spoiling the commentary. Okay, well, I was really
without spoiling the movie, I mean.
No, I don't. I don't think it's a spoiler.
Sure.
Like how there's a bird in the water at one point. I was wondering if that was, or I was pretty sure it was fake.
I don't. It could have been the one that was like motion. It was like motionless in there, right? That wasn't a real bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that would have been a prop bird.
A prop, yeah. But he didn't say anything about it, but he did comment on a lot of the other birds, and there was just another thing or two, but I totally recommend watching it. It was a good good commentary in general.
Yeah.
Best Buy said that they had it, but they didn't, so I was annoyed.
Fuck Best Buy.
They have some good.
I-
points. They have good
Best
selection.
Buy's all right.
Best
Yeah,
Buy's
I picked my copy up at Target.
I used to work at
I
Best
should
Buy.
have just got it and picked it up physically because Amazon was being stupid with my pre-order right now. I'm not getting it for like 2 more weeks.
I actually
Yeah,
got
unlike the
something-
Target website, it said we have a very limited stock, and I go in and they have like 20 copies of the Lighthouse, like front and center. Like, all right.
Oh.
They have.
Very, very limited.
I swear I found 3 copies of the Fanatic on Blu-ray. There was
Yeah,
no.
I've been seeing
Well,
that
'cause they-
everywhere. Like, I thought-
They order them thinking
I
people
was
will
in
buy
the-
them, and then nobody does.
I think
For
it's
your
funny 'cause
consideration.
Bootleg Blu-ray too.
there are a few red boxes around here with the Fanatic just plastered onto them, and I'm just laughing.
I
I don't know
love
if you
man.
guys saw my
All your-
stream last night, but The Lion King is like their Oscar campaign, which is publicly available, like for your consideration online. They're not even going for best animated feature; they're going for best picture. And there's like,
Oh, for fuck's
like
sake.
every
come
single
on.
voice actor they're trying to get nominated for best actor, best supporting actor, best supporting
Oh,
actress
come on.
for the voice acting for The
Jesus
Lion
Christ.
King.
I mean, they'll get
That's what they're
Best
pushing
Animated
for.
Feature.
Isn't that insane?
They put
Yes.
Beyonce for Best Actress.
Airbuds.
Yes.
5 minutes.
She's best supporting, I guess, but
You know what? Airbuds had better animation than Lion King, so like, come on.
Lion King was just a shitty National Geographic documentary.
funny because they say that they.
yeah.
Yes.
If you search on Google, The Lion King for your consideration, the first link will be The Lion King Disney Studios Awards, and you click on that, and it
Yeah.
lists
Oh.
like it also
Themselves.
they're also trying to get nominated for like Avengers Endgame and Aladdin, but like Aladdin they have they're only pushing for one thing. It's like best original song, right?
That's not
Speechless,
good.
and that's the
Which-
only thing they're pushing for Aladdin. And then
Which is
like
not good.
The Lion
Not a good song.
King, they're pushing for fucking everything. Best picture. They're not even pushing for best animated feature. Best picture.
Jesus.
Didn't like the Golden Globes nominate it without them even like entering it in to get nominated for Best Animated Feature Film?
Well, they probably don't care about the Golden Globes.
I have
Yeah.
mixed feelings about
Nobody
the
cares about the Golden Globes.
No.
At least they're not the
Fuck the Golden
Oscars.
Globes.
Ricky was
Long
hilarious.
Fuck
Even
the
though
Oscars.
So was like real good though.
Ricky was very.
That was the only
funny.
part of it that was good.
But I'm glad Joaquin won. Glad that Hinder won.
I kind of
Black
think
Ball
Adam
won.
Driver should have won.
No.
Yeah, I do. I think
Bleh.
Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, and
Apparently
Willem
he's a
Dafoe
guy,
and Barbara
cool
Streisand
guy,
were
'cause
better.
everyone
John
was watching the
Travolta
movie.
deserves Best Actor.
I don't think
Yeah.
Adam Driver deserved
Best
it.
haircut.
Oh yeah, Gotti was so good.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't give the Fanatic like an ironic 10.
No, it's not one of those.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
was
like
funny.
I think without the performance and the bad writing, it's just boring to me.
I cannot speak for disabilities like that. It seems overwritten, honestly.
From what I
And because
understand,
I'm autistic. No,
yeah, from what I
Yeah.
understand, he's supposed to be autistic.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
go around stalking, for instance, Adam here.
Hmm.
Look, meanwhile, you just see me like peering. through the
Neither do
window.
I, but I'm pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would
It's
cut your head off.
trying to be like a few different things at once. It's
I still
I,
love
like
I still love the Limp Bizkit plug. That
oh
shit
yeah, that was
Wow.
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
really funny.
It's a funny movie.
I really don't think
Am I
Adam
able to,
Driver deserves it, but that's just me.
for some stupid reason, I kind of want to show something, but I
What
don't know
is
if I
it?
can screen share. I don't know if any of you play Elite Dangerous, but I have to kind of wonder, like, if there's anyone who plays Elite Dangerous, what my loadout's like how it looks.
I have not played it.
Oh, Adam,
Yes.
Yeah, it's
did you see the Quiet Place 2 trailer?
Yes.
oh dear lord.
I don't know. I by this point I
How are
don't
they
care.
going to be illogical this time?
Well, I don't know. The whole fucking movie is gonna have a stupid ass baby,
Are they
so
gonna shit
obviously it's gonna be like, oh no, it's gonna cry. You gotta shut it up.
They might as well just shit rainbows.
It's like supposed to
Better
take place
be-
directly after, but the kids look 2 years older, and the baby looks like a baby still.
Oh my god, dude, that should be hilarious. And I love how they market it as like not Quiet Place 2, but A Quiet Place Part 2. Like it was always gonna be one
when they
story.
do part 2. Like they're trying to be the Godfather or something. I don't know.
Oh my god.
And I just always look back
Guys,
at the
this is
Godfather
the second part to a
always
major story. We've always planned this.
Yeah, I
Part
don't
2
know.
does
Like,
sound cooler.
it's just it. I guess I'm gonna have to watch it, but like
No. Dude, I can't get through the first one.
It's just
I watched like half of it and I just hated it too much. I think I hated it more than you did.
yeah, well, because like literally the entire movie is just like, how can we set up a scenario where they shouldn't make noise, but it would be very difficult not to make noise, and then literally the entire script just does not give a shit how they get to that scenario or what happens within it. Fuck, like it's convenience after convenience at the expense of like feeling anything. And I don't
felt so
know, like
fucking
apparently
slow.
a lot of people just can watch the movie and not give a shit about anything. Like about any reason why anything is happening. Sorry?
Yeah, it was too stupid.
I feel like it's one of those movies. I think it's kind of like Us in the sense that many people love it. But when you really think about it, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My ideal
It's more
mid-credit
questions
scene.
than answers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Up yet. But I just feel like I'd be disappointed because I would love to get
Who's
out.
ready for more questions and even less answers?
Us had
I
more
can't believe
redeeming
there's nothing
qualities.
promotional for. I can't believe there's nothing promotional for. I'm thinking of ending things.
Shit.
Yeah, isn't that
I
coming
wouldn't
out, like,
expect there to
soon?
be
Like,
anything
this
promotional just yet. When's it coming out? Like
I think it's just gonna
This
I'm
year.
guessing.
this year, but like it's not like a huge Charlie Kaufman is not like you put his name on something and it sells well, as evidenced by
Right, yeah.
Anomalisa.
Oh, but that's just a shame.
Yeah.
Like I hope it does well on
If you put his
Netflix.
name,
I hope
But
that
it's
he
name on
Netflix, so I think he has a chance this time.
yeah, I don't know.
Get recognized a little bit.
It's like a good
you put his name on
Netflix
something-
title. The title of it is already something that like if you saw it on Netflix, you'd click on it. I'm thinking of ending things,
Yeah.
right? That sounds like a Netflix kind of thing that people would click on. So I hope that Kaufman continues his shit, and Netflix works well as a platform for him.
And I really hope Chaos Walking comes out sometime because I really want to see
It's
how.
yeah, I want to see that too. It's so funny. It looks hilarious. And it was supposed to come out like last year or maybe even the year before some shit.
I think 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just don't know what to do with it.
Well,
They're like, they
they
have
said
this
they
movie,
are
they don't know
going
how
to
they're going to
release
release it because it's so bad, apparently.
They said it's gonna come out sooner now, but they still don't know when or how.
It's
Yeah,
last
that
night
sounds like a
Solo-
dumpster fire. I can't wait for that one.
So bad.
Did you hear that
Fire
Roma's going Criterion?
Yes, I did.
I can't wait for
I can't wait.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I'll wait for the Criterion
Is that the
release.
first Netflix Criterion? I think so.
that. Yeah.
Probably.
First
Netflix is a
Netflix
pretty young
original.
platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
I gotta.
Well,
They've been making movies
gosh,
for
I
like a
remember
few
Netflix
years, but
being around when I was in.
Fuck you, Spielberg.
This is
I know
the
that Criterion already announced
come on,
that
Spielberg isn't that bad.
Lady on Fire is gonna get is already going to Criterion. Like it's gonna be its first release.
that what is?
Portrait of a Lady on Fire is going. Criterion already announced that they're going to be releasing it.
Oh,
just like
does
they're-
Netflix have anything to do with that?
No, I was just thinking about like Criterion
Oh.
releases.
Oh,
that
sorry.
are, you know.
Interesting.
I got a $50
Did anyone see that?
certificate to Criterion for Christmas, and I also got a subscription to the channel, and the channel's actually amazing.
I hear it's not like super well optimized.
If it wasn't,
Yeah,
then
I
Hey.
had my issues with it.
Anything's better optimized than the PlayStation Store.
It's missing a
So-
bunch of
well, anyway,
stuff.
Oh,
Sorry, something happened on my end.
Do they have subtitles for English movies yet, or?
Yeah, what the fuck? How could you not do that? If Criterion Channel had their titles in 4K, I would probably get it. Because it's like, you can't even make the... Like, we know that you have 4K transfers. At the very minimum, 2K for all of your collections that you release on Blu-ray. Most of them 4K.
Is there even a way to play the Criterion Channel on anything that's smaller than a phone or a computer?
Oh, I don't know.
I think there's like some. I think like the Roku can do it.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Hey, that's pretty cool, but I mean, it's still pretty limited though.
I'm sure you can, but it just wouldn't be as high resolution.
I can finally watch Salo with my parents.
Yay!
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I watched The Lighthouse and Parasite back to back with my parents. Like that was the first time we saw
my
it.
dad and I
That made them appreciate foreign language film a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, I saw Parasite with my sister. My sister does not like foreign films where she has to read subtitles because they're in another language, but she loved Parasite.
Yeah, same with
Parasite is like the one to do it.
Very accessible.
Parasite,
Very accessible.
if there's a foreign language film that wins Best Picture, I think Parasite could do it.
Yeah.
Although she also liked
It's not gonna
Thirst.
happen.
I feel like maybe it will.
I feel like there's a potential for it to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, but I would be happy if it did. And I don't think it's impossible.
I think it's
The
in
only
between.
time the Oscars don't play it safe or didn't is when they did it for attention by fucking up Best Picture.
I think Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite are like the front runners right now.
I don't think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's gonna win Best Picture. That would be weird.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
Either, but it's really people love Academy voters love the hell out of Tarantino.
Has Tarantino ever won Best Picture?
Hollywood loves Hollywood.
No,
Tarantino's never won
Oscars
Best
love
Picture.
Hollywood.
I don't know if this would be the one to do it.
Nominations come out on Monday.
No, it shouldn't. If his others would no way. This is probably his worst. I gotta be honest.
But Hollywood loves Hollywood, so.
Also, they love giving pity wins. Like, even if a movie isn't the one that they deserve to win, sometimes like
It would be
Martin
too
Scorsese-
controversial. It'd be too. They wouldn't do it
Yeah,
because
that's
it's too
true.
controversial. And The Irishman, I don't know. The Irishman could probably win, but it's The Irishman is Netflix. I would say that a foreign film has a higher chance of winning against a Netflix movie because they hate Netflix.
No, that's not why. I think it's because Scorsese made the Marvel comments, and Disney owns Marvel, and they don't like that.
Oh, maybe.
That's why. It won't.
And they own
betting
ABC.
Marriage Story.
That and it's Netflix. Like,
Well, aren't the nominations on Monday?
Yep.
So there'll be
They're coming out when?
At my school.
Monday at like 5 a.m.
Oh, nice. Okay.
what's coming out?
The Oscar nomination.
Really?
Okay, that's what I thought.
So we'll have some things to talk about on the podcast. Awesome.
It's gonna be a shit
Ugh.
show.
Yeah, I feel like the
Disney.
Lighthouse will not get nominated for
I
Best
think
Picture. at
there's
all.
a slight
Of course the
possibility
Lighthouse
it'll get
won't.
nominated. It'll get like it might just maybe get nominated for best cinematography.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, too.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nominated for nothing.
Foreign language. It
Yeah,
would get
I wouldn't
Dafoe
be
needs to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
He really does.
Willem Dafoe,
It
yeah.
was fucking fantastic.
Disney used foreign films as like the language of the peasants.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like, I
saying.
didn't-
Like, I feel like if the Lighthouse was foreign language, they would nominate it.
I didn't notice
I
this
don't know.
until someone in a YouTube comment mentioned this, but during that entire Poseidon rant that he has, he doesn't blink at all.
That's
and
awesome.
when you notice that, it's really freaky. That entire
Willem
scene is just
Dafoe-
terrifying.
Oh, wait,
please
sorry,
don't
what movie
spoil,
are we talking
please don't
about?
spoil.
The Lighthouse.
I haven't torrented it yet.
The
Okay,
Lighthouse.
it's not really a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler at all.
It deserves
Just
an
this
Oscar.
one scene that
I'll remember to
everything is
look for that.
perfect.
I like you call it a
Go for
Poseidon
It
rant.
deserves your money.
Yeah.
It's coming out in Australia soon, so that's all good.
How much money do you think Disney's gonna pay their influencers to get nominated? or to get Lion King nominated?
I don't know. They pay a lot already.
A few McDonald's coupons, maybe.
Yeah.
Some belly button lint.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, we're.
I wish Disney could get bought out by someone.
I
remember like a few months ago when the whole Spider-Man thing was happening, and then everyone was like calling on Disney to buy Sony Pictures.
That's literally that's how they do it.
Fucking stupid.
Just buy it.
I think you could buy
Didn't
Disney
Tom
for
Holland
about
do
$1
that?
trillion.
Yeah.
I don't
Bill
think they'd
Gates
sell
did.
for anything less.
Sell it, then burn it, right?
Adam?
What if?
Mm.
Oh, gosh,
Oh my
imagine
god,
Disney
yes,
got
just
bought out.
disband Disney and everything, but then
Yeah,
own
man.
like everything that Disney owns.
No
Yeah.
more Simpsons ever.
They're gonna buy like
really-
Universal
that'd
at
be
some
like-
point.
And then like the end of Return of the Jedi when like all the different planets are celebrating because Disney.
I was feeling like one of their next big acquisitions would be like a video game company like Ubisoft or EA.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
EA would
it's
become
gonna
a
be-
bigger shit show if that were the
I
case.
think they're gonna get Paramount. They're gonna get Paramount next.
Paramount.
Yeah, I would not doubt.
Paramount doesn't really have many franchises other than like Mission Impossible.
That's what
Yeah,
they
Like
want.
Transformers.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys ever see that
Bumblebee
Yeah,
was
that
actually
classic
really
series.
good, but then no one saw it.
It'd be funny if they bought Transformers and fired Michael Bay and got like a worse director to make them.
Mhm.
Made even more money.
It's worse than Michael Bay.
It was Star Wars. Well, I guess JJ's worse. He's about the same as George.
I think JJ's about to take over the DC cinematic universe because Warner Brothers just signed a $500 million deal with Bad Robot, his parent company.
Oh. Yeah, why not?
I mean, he already has a Superman movie he wants to make, so I wouldn't be shocked.
That makes me grin. Adam, you know about the Abrams cut stuff, right? With Star Wars.
Release the Abrams cut.
I guess maybe. I don't know too much about it. I've heard.
It was like sabotaging. They were sabotaging Episode 9 so that Warner Brothers wouldn't consider him for the DC movies.
Really? What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
Cut
sense.
Yeah, I don't know, the whole.
Well, if
Snyder
that is
cut,
true,
every
this
cut
makes me
just
so
makes me laugh.
fucking happy. Because fuck you, Disney. The fact that we were gonna get to see all the Force Ghosts, and they wasted money getting the actors in a soundstage and getting them in costume and stuff, and then just use their voices. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a bit of a
Apparently-
conspiracy.
I don't know.
I was actually watching a video of Mark Hamill talking about like Star Wars in like public interviews and stuff like that. While he was obviously forced to say only good things or things that were I was watching his breathing patterns and he looked so fucking
Why were you watching
fed
his
up.
breathing patterns? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, because you can tell a lot just by how a person is breathing. Like he was just like,
Don't look at my breathing.
He was
Oh,
he
you can
was
see him, like,
blinking in
breathing, like-
Morse code.
yeah, because you have to be that specific. Oh, for hell's sake! Sorry.
Oh, did you
I don't
guys
did you
hear that?
decipher it?
No,
Adam
my fucking shields went down. So
Hmm.
I was watching his breathing patterns, and he looked so fucking stressed out. Like, no joke.
Well, he already like
Well, I don't
said
think-
shit that probably got him some threatening legal letters or something from Disney. He already said
Yeah.
some shit that was like, "There's no way Disney would have responded well to that."
Oh no, it was like sometime after like the Last Sky or the Last Jedi.
Exactly. During that, he said some
This
shit.
is
Skywalker.
Have you guys seen the interview with like him and like Kathleen Kennedy and like he's saying like, oh, like Luke Skywalker, like he's not really. It was about the Last Jedi. Like he's not really as important as the new characters. So it's not really my story anymore. And then Kathleen Kennedy like butts in halfway through and is all like, we want everyone to know that Luke Skywalker is very, very important. Just to be all like, yeah, this guy who's like very important to your guys' childhood and is very practical. Like he is important, guys.
Hey, can wait real quick? Whoever's like having their door shut and their dog bark, can you like mute yourself for a minute? I can't hear this guy.
Maybe they left.
Okay, good.
Hey, Adam.
Sorry,
I
what?
recommend 2 movies. What you think you want?
Say it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you can go first.
Talk, bitch.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, there was an interview where like Mark Hamill was saying like how Luke Skywalker wasn't really the focal point of like the new Disney movies, and it was
No, it's all about those Mary Sues and Gary Sues that they have on screen.
Yeah, and then
Quit calling her
Kennedy,
Mary Sue. That's so annoying.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm a writer, and that's all I see her as.
I don't know.
Bro, she's the granddaughter of Palpatine. And if anyone complains about spoilers, if you wanted to see it, you've seen it by now.
She could be the lost granddaughter of Jar Jar Binks, and I could give 2 shits. So
that'll be a great twist.
About Star Wars.
The Force doesn't. It shouldn't care who you're related to. The Force is a mystical thing.
I vote to change the subject. I really don't give a shit about Star Wars. I am not going to be a part of this conversation.
How about we change it to let's change the subject to the guy who can't mute his mic.
Also, what was
I
that
think they're
about
done.
JJ doing DC? Is the next DC movie going to be Batman v Superman: Dawn of Cloverfield? If JJ is in charge.
JJ fucks up everything. He doesn't know how to end anything.
That's his biggest problem is that all he does is open mystery boxes.
He kind of meanders.
Wrap them up well.
You figure it out.
He saved Star Wars, I think.
My dad's favorite show was Fringe, and then it got canceled. And like, you don't want to know what the season finale could have been if it actually continued.
Oh god,
yeah.
Fringe
Like,
got really fucking stupid.
I love
it. Lost.
J.J. Abrams, Friends.
Yes, the Friends reboot, and the first episode is like a rehash of the first Friends, like the pilot.
Yeah, I don't want him responsible for anything. I don't like JJ.
Yeah. I used to like his work,
Same.
but it feels like he's kind of sold out. In the worst
I've
ways
never
possible.
loved the guy.
Super 8.
I only liked Lost, and then you know what happened with Lost.
Well, yeah, exactly. He doesn't know how to end anything. Everything he touches has a bad ending.
That Super 8 was pretty good.
I disagree. I thought the
pandering like
Rise of I think Rise of Skywalker was good.
Let's not talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, let's not.
The problem with
it's not gonna.
We're talking about JJ.
If it ended 10 minutes earlier, even though he had nothing to do with it, then 10 Cloverfield Lane would have had a good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was responsible for that ending.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I always said like
he ruined it.
The best way to end 10 Cloverfield Lane would just be like to cut off as soon as she rips the mask off.
Yeah.
Like
I made a fan edit.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah. Hey Adam, can I recommend 2 movies that I think you'll love?
Sure.
I don't want to. One of them is by Brian De Palma called Phantom of the Paradise.
Phantom of the Paradise?
Yeah. It's kind of this quirky rock opera movie from the 70s. And I think it's a very good movie. It has great like art direction.
Okay, it's on my watch list already.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it though.
Everything is.
Hey Adam.
The other one is a film that I watched on the Criterion Channel, and it's now one of my favorite movies. And I think we also get a great recommendation podcast someday. I know that I think Alex would love it, but it's called Naked by Mike Lee.
I think that's also on my watch list.
Spike Lee.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Didn't they add a new? I think there's a new Criterion Spike Lee movie.
Oh yeah, I saw a trailer for that. It doesn't look great, but I can understand why it would be there.
Let me look at the short selection.
Joel Cohen, not Joel and Ethan Cohen, just Joel Cohen is making a Macbeth adaptation this year, and Denzel Washington is playing Macbeth, and Frances McDormand's playing Lady Macbeth.
Okay, yeah, there's a movie called Bamboozled by Spike Lee that's coming to Criterion.
Yeah, that's the one.
and it has something to do with blackface.
Yeah. It's like I saw the trailer. It's
I
like
love
they got
blackface.
two black there's like they're putting on a play in the movie, and then they got two black actors to do blackface basically. And it's just
That's
like
cute.
yeah, it's like a play within a movie, and there's controversy within the play, and the characters in the movie are like, that's outrageous, is what it seems like it is. Doesn't look good.
I don't understand the people who think that Spike Lee is an artist.
He made Old Boy 2013.
I think
Yeah,
a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
the blame for Old Boy
He made
goes
a
to
movie
Mark
that had the same
Protasevich,
quality.
honestly.
Do the Right Thing was all right.
I don't know though. After Old Boy 2013, I saw his quality on the same, like almost on par with the Disaster movie.
Inside
BlacKkKlansman was
Man
decent.
was all right when it came out, but it didn't age well. Seems really cheesy now.
Spike Lee. I think Spike Lee made a movie even worse than Old Boy, actually.
Oh, did he really?
It's called Miracle at St. Anna.
That was a bad one.
It's like this 3-hour-long mess.
Yeah, I wouldn't like hate that one more than Old Boy, but I definitely hated that when it came out and I watched it.
Wait, what was it about?
It was
Old Boy
about
more,
some troop, and I forget which war, and it was like an all-black
it's World
troop.
War. Yeah, it's like
World War something.
II.
And
Yeah.
it was just like this really fucking like weird take on war where everybody was like happy and nothing really bad happened. And it was just really boring.
Oh my gosh, I can do this.
Odd. What
Yeah.
is
They're
a
just like
worse
joking the whole
remake?
time.
What has a worse remake, Old Boy or Lion King?
I don't know. They're both really
The
bad.
answer is neither. It's murders.
Yeah, exactly. They're pretty much terrible.
They're both 10 to 1 from original to remake.
I still
I
think
think Lion King is a little more embarrassing, frankly.
Have you finished watching all the promo footage yet, Adam, or are you still sifting through that?
I just finished going through the rest of it last night. I still need to organize it a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna be gone for a couple weeks pretty soon, so I'll have to get the
That's
actual
Sundance,
recording
right?
done. Yeah, Sundance.
Going to Canada?
I'll have to get the actual recording done when I'm back, like probably I'll start that like beginning of February sort of thing. And then I can truck through the editing and see how long that takes.
Uncle
How long
Adam.
did Old Boy take you to do from like start to finish?
Oh, I don't know. It's 4 months or something, I don't know.
Finally got Old
But like
Boy
I'm not
nice,
like because I'm responsible for so many things, like I can't possibly work on it the whole time. I kind of have to like switch between other projects. And so me being gone for Sundance, like I had to record the podcast early and do like basically 2 podcasts in 1 week, and I'm editing that. Make sure I'm going through like all the gaming channel stuff before I leave so that there's things being published while I'm gone. And then like my album, the final mix has happened, and so I'm doing the mastering process. I sent off like the footage to a colorist and have been communicating back and forth with them. I still got to listen to the first version of the master and give information back to the mastering guy to know what changes to make. And so yeah, there's a lot of shit that I'm doing at once.
Yeah, enough. Sure, man. Take your time, I guess.
Yeah, thank
See
you.
Bright Eyes is back.
Yeah, theoretically.
yeah.
We'll see
Would
how
you
that
go see
goes.
him?
Sorry?
Would you go see them if they came around?
Yeah, if they're going to tour, of course I'm going to see them.
Yeah, I would definitely go. I just found them pretty recently. I would definitely go see them.
I love Bright Eyes. They're great.
Do you think
I've been asked if I've ever been to Wisconsin. The answer is no, but I'd like to go to Shrekfest, which is in Wisconsin.
What?
Oh, I need to do that.
And thank you,
Thank you,
Ethan, for the
Shrek is
bits.
Daddy.
You're welcome. That was me.
Oh, thank you.
Uncle Adam, can I talk to you about something I've been wanting to talk to you about for 9 months now?
You're pregnant.
Go for
Well, you just had the baby.
No, I've
pretty good. That's fucking
no, I've been pregnant for 4 years, but
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about Avengers Endgame.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about Star Wars or Avengers Endgame. I really don't.
Disney stuff.
Time travel is consistent.
Let's just
How? Okay, if you're going to make this argument, how quickly can you make it, and how quickly will you accept that I disagree with you?
Exactly.
Yes,
It's
well,
like
it's
a
a
choir,
theory.
just like us. It makes no sense.
Fucking
I
learn my words.
Entertaining.
I made this in like a minute or
What
two.
was that?
It was
Just say it
Oh,
really
sorry.
quick. Say it really quick, and then we'll be done with this
This is brand
conversation.
new.
Just like the quiet place.
Okay,
it makes no sense
so when Nebula kills, or I'll just say when Tony like does the snap at the end and Iron Man, I have a theory that instead of like just killing everyone, he sends them back to the time when they came from to fix the time loop, and then but just made it dust for a cool effect, and then
That sounds like you're reaching a bit.
Everything that happened.
Yeah, that sounds like a stretch.
But he has a fucking
know,
time
yeah.
stone.
So what about when everyone came back to life? What about people who are on a plane or on a boat?
They all were brought back to the ground.
Yeah, I think they
It
said
doesn't make
like
sense.
Hawkeye's
first
wife-
do the thing to make sure that they all came
hold
back
on.
safely.
Hawkeye's wife's
or
cell
whatever.
phone plan was still active for like 3 years.
How did they
Yeah.
even
Oh fuck! I forgot to pay this bill.
2014 to 2019?
If it was up to me, the entire Marvel universe would have ended with Infinity War.
Yeah.
If it were up to
That
me,
would
I just stopped doing it like
dude, that's
Marvel
too cruel.
entirely.
You guys excited for Black Widow?
Hell no.
Imagine
No.
all the little kids who just see their heroes die.
David Harbour, star of Hellboy.
Can we move on? Are we all good?
Black Widow looks so visually,
In mind.
which is
You know,
every Marvel movie. but-
Avengers Endgame is just like us. It's just like a quiet place. You know, it's entertaining, sure, but it makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm done with Marvel.
No,
I don't
that's
feel
not
like
true.
it.
Avengers Endgame makes sense,
Yeah.
and Quiet Place is not entertaining. It's infuriating.
Well,
I want to talk about not Marvel.
Yeah,
They
me
pulled
too.
another Edgar Wright. They pulled
It
another
doesn't
Edgar Wright.
really
They
make
fired
sense, but that's just like-
Derrickson.
Oh yeah,
Doctor Strange.
yeah. I just heard that and it made me pissed off.
Yeah, creative differences, everyone.
The
Yeah.
same reason as Edgar Wright when they fired him for
Yeah.
Ant-Man. The same exact reason. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not
Yeah,
creative
I don't know if it was like a
differences.
firing or if they just quit because they wouldn't budge,
I think-
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, this time
mean,
he's still
he's a horror
producing
director.
Strange, but this time he's still producing it. But like,
I still haven't seen the
still,
first Doctor Strange.
You
pretty
shouldn't.
good.
It's
like
it's just painfully
It's
average.
visually.
Well, then why is everybody
but the
mad that he's
story
not directing the
is
second
awful.
one then?
I think it's
Because
like
it might have
he's a
been more
horror
interesting.
director.
It pisses me off because apparently he was trying to do something different with it, but then Marvel was all like, "No, this is too different from what we want for our standards." So we don't.
Who knows
want
what
you
they
doing it.
would have done with it? I don't know. Maybe
was supposed to
maybe
be
he had like a really
film.
bad idea.
He wanted to make it a horror film, and then they just. I think because it was announced to be like the first MCU horror movie. And
Oh,
he already
really?
directed.
Was it actually?
He directed.
Oh.
I do
Yeah.
remember
That's
that.
actually pretty interesting, yeah.
And it's the same
Doctor
director.
Strange would
as
work.
Sinister.
A Doctor Strange horror movie would actually work.
That
Like,
sounds
I don't think
interesting.
That's gonna happen anymore, though.
I
I think
would have.
because
We're
that's
talking
why I was
about all sorts of bizarre cosmic horror. You could really dip into the Lovecraft pool here. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's what he wanted to do, but yeah.
I feel like maybe if that would have happened, it would have been like just a bunch of like weird CGI.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Adam, if you don't want to talk about Marvel, I'm curious about something that is
Yes.
not Disney. I'm
Oh,
wondering
oh,
if
yeah.
anyone has seen or even heard of the Jurassic World short film they released to get people interested before the third movie.
Oh my god.
I almost watched it and I
no.
haven't seen it yet. I need to see it. I just like I had the tab
was
open
good.
and then it was there for a while and then I closed it.
For a
Jurassic
10-minute
Park
short
is old
film,
enough
it
to
was
be a
good.
fossil.
Battle
Let
at
it
Big
die.
Rock? Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
We can like grind it
Yeah, I'll
up
watch that in a bit.
and turn it
Yeah,
into
God.
film oil.
So the
Adam-
first Jurassic Park was good. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Is the
Well,
next
also
one-
it was
3 was good.
interesting.
3 was good, and y'all can suck it if you disagree.
Okay, yeah.
I like 3, but it's not like a good movie. It's not
Alan.
anywhere near
I really
1.
don't like Jurassic Park, to be honest. I really
Well, no,
don't
it
like
doesn't
it.
hold a candle to the first one, but it's still good.
I forget. Is that the one where you can hear a cell phone through the dinosaur's stomach? Or
Oh yeah, it's a satellite.
It's the
phone,
one
not a
where he
cell
tries to
phone,
like
so it
get
must have
help, and the kid's watching Barney.
Yeah,
That
and
was
there's
funny.
like,
That was funny.
and then
It's,
there's like a 10-year-old boy who like survived on this island for like months
8
or
weeks, I
something.
think.
He was like 15. Well,
He was like, "Oh, I
mean,
read your
he-
books, and that helped me."
Yeah.
Was this also the one where like the little girl drop kicks a raptor?
That was
No,
the
That
second
was the
one.
second one.
That
Yeah.
was the second one was the bad one.
I don't know. They blur together.
Yeah.
To the
Blurred
second
it-
film's
oh, come on,
credit,
dude,
it had,
you need to watch
it had Jeff
3.
Goldblum, and that's it.
Aren't like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and them coming back for the new one?
Yeah, and Laura Dern.
They,
Dude,
well,
just
I mean,
like
like Jeff
posted that, I
Goldblum
got it
was
from you.
Jeff
Or, well,
Goldblum
yeah.
was heavily marketed for the Jurassic World 2, and then he was like
Dude,
literally
that movie
literally
pissed me
like
off
at the
to no
very
end. I
beginning and
hate
the
that
very
movie.
end, and just completely outside of the actual story, as if they got him at the last minute and then wrote an extra scene for him, which is so weird.
Hilarious.
Jurassic
what
World
if,
2 was a
hate that.
disaster.
Alright,
It was
I hate it
hilarious.
so much.
Let me pitch a Jurassic
I watched
Park
it
movie
at
for you
drive-in,
guys.
so naturally I was only half paying attention.
Let me pitch a Jurassic Park movie for you guys. So, maybe one of Goldblum's eyebrow or eyelashes like falls into a dact of DNA, dinosaur DNA.
And then he
And
fuses
Jeff
with the
Goldblum
Indoraptor?
dinosaurs. Yes, it's Jeff Goldblum dinosaurs.
The Ian
It mostly looks like a regular dinosaur, but it has Jeff Goldblum's head. That's
has
like the only
glasses.
difference.
And his
He
hands.
just talks
There's
funny,
a
yeah.
YouTube video that has that.
Yeah, and
I'm,
it like
YouTube video
it
where, like,
stutters.
eat you.
It
There's a
stutters and
YouTube
says
video
a
where it-
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Hey,
video where it's a parody
Stop
of
running
the
away from
Jurassic
me.
World
I'm
trailer,
gonna eat you.
and all like
Life
all the
finds a
Gallium
way.
is-
Away.
Find a way. I find a
On a
way.
Somebody-
similar note, I am. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Somebody
Adam.
remade the Jurassic World 2 trailer and replaced all the dinosaurs roaring with Gordon Ramsay saying raw.
I've seen
Yeah.
that. It's fantastic.
I saw the one with where their roars were goose honks. That was hilarious.
Oh, nice.
It was better than
With the
movie.
goose honk from
It was
Untitled
good.
Goose Game, or
I love Gordon Ramsay.
Dude, every time
me
I
too.
think of Jurassic World 2, I want to punch a fucking wall. I hate that movie. I hate it.
What movie?
Jurassic World 2.
I love
I
that
was
movie.
so excited to see Ian Malcolm.
I remember absolutely nothing from it. But
It's
All
just
I
shit.
remember
first one
is
being
it was the
painful.
second one, but somehow worse. Why would you copy the second one that nobody likes?
money.
Well, no, not even money. Like, why would you the one that nobody likes?
I have
Who
no
cares? It's out of touch Hollywood people. They don't fucking know.
Because they
It's
don't,
fine to
yeah,
comment
they
on
don't know
it.
how to write an original script.
they're pretty much disassociated with their audience members, and they think that they know
Exactly.
us.
They're playing it safe
That's-
because
they
the
should've-
first one that played it safe broke box office records and was the most like successful dinosaur
Go get,
film
like,
ever.
destroyed?
Well,
Doesn't
it had
the
new
girl in the
elements
park
to
get like
it.
destroyed and like slaughtered?
You're the first one.
I think it was
I-
like maybe Chris Pratt's biggest movie or some shit.
I don't
Other
know.
than
That's like
Endgame at this point.
1.7. It made a lot of
Yeah,
money.
Endgame.
It was bigger than Avengers Infinity War?
No, yeah.
Well, we're not gonna talk
other than
about-
those other ones, other than the Marvel ones.
No, talking about Avengers.
You know that doesn't exist.
All right, so I'm obviously not going to go on a tangent about Disney again because I am kind of done with Disney this session.
Hmm.
Gordon.
But I'm going to talk about remakes. Now,
There's gonna be a Parasite remake, and it's gonna be awful.
Yeah,
So-
Adam McKay's doing
That's
it.
only early talks. That's only
no.
early
Great director Adam McKay.
It
so
depends on
I think-
how much bong is involved.
No.
I mean, it's not going to be
I
as good as the
director,
Korean
Adam
one,
McKay.
but
If it was like Mikhail Hanukkah and like Bong did like an American remake, maybe that could be something. But like, what would be?
well,
the
it's going to
purpose
be
of
like a
that?
mini series. So
okay, so as I was
You
going
know
to
what
say,
remake's gonna be really bad? Kong versus Godzilla.
It's
Adam
Godzilla
Wingard is
versus
doing
Kong.
it.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it Adam Wingard?
Adam, no, don't act like you're
Yeah.
surprised. Adam, someone told you this 6 months ago.
I just
Is
I
he
don't
still
repress
doing
him.
I Saw the Devil?
I hope that's just gonna be in development hell forever, and it will never be remade.
Adam, did you see like the second long clip that was leaked of this like Comic-Con trailer for the movie?
What, Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, they fucked up 1 second. So like the first half of the second, it's like Kong punching with his right arm, and then it cuts to a wide shot and he's punching with his left arm.
That's awesome.
Okay.
He's ambidextrous.
All right. So, as I was going to say,
Oh,
just to bring it up briefly, I'm done talking about it, but these Star Wars remakes, I've noticed that they've had a strange beat with their pacing. There was a lot of this, a lot of that, when there was no balance. A lot of remakes today, or reboots, whatever you may call them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think of it as a pie chart laid out, you know, or like, you know, maybe 25%, you know, action, 35%, whatever. I don't know. I'm not good with math, but I feel like someone should kind of take that into account.
What's happening with your
Because it
webcam,
There's
Augie?
webcam.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
is it
like
like
the
shaky?
sequel
Yeah, I don't know what's
trilogy.
going on.
I just hate the spinoffs.
Yeah, that happens with it's an old laptop, so that's why it like sometimes just gets like glitchy or shaky or something. I don't know why.
Okay.
Oh, God. It's like when
Rogue
when
One
spiders,
pisses
like,
me off maybe more than Jurassic World 2.
No more Star Wars, please.
So has anybody seen the Grudge
Wait,
remake?
quit acting, guys, stop. I'm not bringing it up.
Which friend of mine watched it?
I was the one who brought it up briefly and said not to continue it. But
I hated The Grudge so much, and it's weird because I, as someone who actually really likes the director and really liked The Eyes of My Mother, it was even more like disappointing because I was like, hey, maybe, just maybe, this January horror film will have something, like some redeemable quality. Like, it didn't even have good cinematography. Like, and he's
What did you like?
really, really good.
What did you like about Eyes of My Mother?
I loved the cinematography a lot.
Was it?
And
I mean,
really,
like, I didn't think the cinematography was great. It was just like black and white.
you know what? I remembered something that made me laugh hard about.
Wait, he needs to defend himself over Eyes of My Mother. I'm curious.
So the main reason that I don't know. So I guess if I was going to just boil it down to one thing is I think it was a really interesting take on a serial killer movie because I feel like because the movie is mostly just whenever we're watching a movie about a serial killer whenever she's not killing someone, mostly like it's just very. I guess it's kind of like it's very like she has like a very mundane life, and it's almost interesting for me. I don't know, like it's hard to even really describe.
I don't think the director put that much thought into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just really like the way that it's presented. I like the cinematography.
I'm not trying to shame you or anything. I just I hated that movie.
No, for sure. Yeah, I get that.
I'm just trying to understand why people liked it.
Really respectful to
Okay, so I remember
remake and said that it actually wasn't as bad as people say. You give it a 5. So
I am not excited for more Meg movies.
Meg
movies? They're making sequels to the Meg.
It was big in China. I don't know. It could be.
I have read.
If it doesn't flop, I will be pissed.
Sorry if I interrupted. I wanted to talk about this.
You're not
'cause
interrupting.
It's based
Go
on a
for
book
it.
series, and I have
Oh,
read
yeah.
like all 13 books. There's a lot of them.
I forgot it was based off a book.
And they are great. So they just it's
That's
like
an
it
absolute
starts
shame.
off with just the megalodon, then we get like dinosaurs, and then we get
Oh,
aliens
what?
and time travel.
Are
as
the
we keep going.
Are the Chinese characters in the book?
They're Japanese in the book.
Okay.
They changed. They changed most of them.
They just made them the other Asians, so that they could get more money.
That's funny.
I was gonna bring it up before it falls into obscurity, but The Grudge 3. I don't know if it's in the beginning. I've never seen the movie, but there was a character of a boy in it, and his death looked like it was made in Gary's mod.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. The
Chinese and Japanese are basically the same, except the Chinese can open their eyes.
If anyone wants to know what I'm talking about, I'm
all right.
The only Asian in here.
I put it in chat, and I will put it in this chat as well, because if you guys are curious, it starts at like the timestamp of, I think it's like 40.
I might click on that.
No. 35. It starts.
Hey Adam.
Yes. What's
two
that?
questions.
Yes.
How did you get that photo with Bol? Did you go to his restaurant again?
Yeah, I went to his restaurant again. My parents were visiting from out of town, and I actually took them there for Christmas. And
yeah, it makes sense. Because it's fine dining, isn't it? Like really high.
Yeah, it's a really good restaurant, and the menu had changed since the last time I've been there, which is really cool. So it's like a rotating menu or whatever.
Where's that restaurant again?
It's called Bauhaus, Bauhaus. It's in Vancouver, and Uwe Boll owns this restaurant, and it's like an award-winning German restaurant. It's very high quality, and yeah, he's here in the winters, so.
So did your parents get to meet him too, since they came?
Well, they didn't. I had to explain to them who he was before we went there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they care. But yeah, I got him to come to the table, and because he was walking around, and asked him.
He said he's following you, right?
Well,
he didn't know you.
Well, I said like, hey, you used to follow me on Twitter, but that doesn't really mean anything because he followed a lot of people on Twier. So I don't know if he recognized me or knew who I was, or just thought I was some random person or whatever. But yeah, I asked him about if he's like made new Twitter or Letterboxd accounts, and he said no, he's done with it and only does Facebook and his Uwe Boll Raw website. So that means that like those things that people were posting on the subreddit thinking it was him were not him. So everybody should.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Slander time.
Is he actually nice in person, or?
He was nice from that brief interaction that I had with him. There was nothing out of the ordinary.
I feel like he didn't tell you to fuck off.
If you're running a restaurant, you'd want to be not a cunt. So.
Yeah, while people are eating your food. Especially. Augie, send it to me on like Patreon messages, but I can't guarantee when I would watch it, though.
One last question. I know you're pretty busy with your schedule generally, but do you think you'd ever start up the Adam and Powell's Pokemon stuff again? Or
I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
Oh, please! No. It was the best series.
That was some of my favorite content. That was so good.
Yeah, I liked making it, and I really wanted to go through the like Pokemon series as a whole, but at this point, like I don't want to promote, because like either I would have to unlist all those videos and start from scratch again, which I don't really want to do, because like I criticize other things that are try to capture the same spirit of something that once existed, and I think those videos are good. Like I like those videos, but if I continued off of the same jumping off point, then I would essentially be creating new content that promotes that older content, and I don't really feel like promoting a person that has been lying about me and been really shitty and toxic person to me. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, dude. I didn't mean to bring it up like that. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, that's why it's not happening again, is because he burnt bridges. And
Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to make it personal. So yeah.
Oh no, that's fine.
Why you gotta take the match away?
Oh hey Adam. Oh no, fuck you, Disney. You go. If you were gonna say something.
After The Lion King, you'll have plans for Synecdoche Part 6.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, finally.
I've said this for a while, though. I've made like several
Yeah,
tweets about it and shit.
I feel like every Google Hangout, there's always Synecdoche brought up.
Almost every hangout I ask you about it. Thank you. Finally.
Mm.
I'm waiting.
Let the man work on it.
I'm having a movie night with friends and I'm showing it Synecdoche.
No, I can't stop bitching.
Oh, what's?
I mean, you don't hear me asking every Hangout when's the next YMS. So.
Hey, Adam.
It'll be out when he's ready.
Yes, what's up?
No.
Have you seen or are you planning to see Little Women?
I guess I'm gonna have to because it's probably gonna get some Oscar nominations.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
The trailer just didn't seem interesting to me at all.
It's not. Yeah, I didn't like the trailer either. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it is the most drastic improvement in cinematography that I can think of from like. It's so well shot.
Yeah, I've just been patient with. I never rushed to see it, mostly because it came out and I didn't even know it did. It was like a week after its release, and I was like, people are talking about this. Oh, oops! And then I realized it was Greta. And like Lady Bird was fine, but it wasn't something where I'd be like hyped to see every single movie she makes first day in theaters. So, and plus there were all these like other articles online of people like trying to politicize it of like who sees it and who likes it, and that shit just turns me off of watching something. So,
Spielberg looks like absolute shit.
It had a it was everything about it was just very professionally well done, and it was because Lady Bird, the only thing I thought was outstanding about that movie was really just the script and the acting, but this one was like a major improvement in filmmaking. Like the music,
yeah, I could see that.
Alexandre Desplat did the music, and the music was incredible.
Okay,
it was super well shot. It's got a great story. The acting is all amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Did they consult with the original author when they were writing the screenplay?
I thought Lady Bird was
I mean, they probably visited her grave.
I thought
Seance.
Same thing with what Ubisoft does with Tom Clancy.
I thought
Has anyone seen Murnos?
compared to some other shit.
Seen
Which
what?
movie?
Monos, M-O-N-O-S.
Oh,
I
not
love
yet.
Monos.
Somebody posted that in Reddit, but I haven't seen it yet.
Ralph was mentioning it a lot in joke, and I was like, okay. And then some random comment on r/movies was like, this is my favorite film, and I've seen 150 movies this year. And I was like, okay, interesting.
You know what? Just for fun, I'm gonna.
Ralph's review of Joker wasn't that good.
Hey, if this becomes disruptive,
one
I'm
second.
gonna immediately cancel it.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
You made him leave.
Let's not fling shit at random people, especially like YouTubers.
I thought Lady was pretty great compared to some other like.
What are you doing?
What is this?
I don't know. Is it disruptive?
Kinda.
Yeah, don't do that.
Enter the
Don't do that.
Okay.
Fucking
Stop
stop
sharing.
that. Turn that off. Thank you.
Remember when I did that?
Holy shit.
Wow.
Like it messed up the whole stream. So
Okay. All right. So this is what I thought would happen. I thought it would take up my webcam instead. So
I got a package from someone saying they're opossum, and it's a bunch of
Makes sense to me.
Nordic wine gums, elderflower with
that really
raspberry.
did. Oh fuck.
What? Wine guns.
Some. What the fuck?
Too bad that doesn't.
Some weird candy that I don't know what it is. Fresh Freddy. Spelt. I don't know what spelt is. Mint, coconut, and premium dark chocolate.
Premium.
Amber pastiller. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Some other weird shit that I don't know what it is. Yeah, a bunch of foreign food here.
Oh yeah, foreign food.
Yeah, lots of sweets that are bound to taste very strange to me.
I'll send you some files from Australia.
And then, yeah, I'm not sure what half of this is. But thank you for the package, opossum, whoever you are.
Did you read the notes?
Mysterious opossum.
Mysterious opossum.
Mm-hmm.
Fun name.
They wanted me to open this on stream or something, so I did.
Oh, that's cute.
It seemed to arrive on. Did it arrive up today or?
I don't know. Like within the past couple weeks, I guess.
Oh, I thought when you got up and walked away, you were like getting it like it had just been delivered. I was like, wow, great timing.
No, I picked it up from the PO box like a week ago.
Did you read the note from my package?
Dude,
Sorry?
fuck. I tried watching Cats last night. I could not sit through it.
Oh, I watched Cats.
I feel like that'd be a movie I'd walk out of the theater for.
I did
I
walk
sat
out.
through the whole thing.
I walked out.
It got patched like Fallout 76. It's so
I saw
glorious.
the magic mushrooms. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, I heard a story about these guys who watched Cats on like LSD or something.
That sounds like
And
a bad
very-
time.
Yeah, they said it was absolutely terrifying.
It was.
The
I was-
intended
I was
way to
fearing for my life.
Bless you. Imagine.
This is so creepy looking. And then there's the Vor.
There is Vor. Yeah, those mice are terrifying.
Oh God, yeah.
I laughed so much. I was like in shock. I had to cover my mouth because I was in the small theater. Like half of it was filled for some reason. And when the mice showed up, I was just bawling my eyes out laughing. And there were like old people like looking at me from like the aisle behind me, and I just had to like look away and laugh into my arm. It was amazing.
When I finished Cats, there was like nobody else in the theater. There were like a few people there. Actually, there were a couple of high schoolers who kept yelling during the entire movie, and then there was this 40-year-old man just sitting alone. And whenever the high schoolers would like scream, he would like shush them, and I thought it was hilarious how he was just a 40-year-old man just sitting alone watching Cats.
I had like a really strange screening for The Grudge that I mentioned in the video that's not out yet. There were 3 separate conversations going on at any point in time in the theater. One of them was from some guy speaking a language I'm not familiar with. Another was like 2 old ladies that were like at least 60 years old that were like laughing at the movie. And it was really weird that they were even there watching The Grudge. And then another was like some, like, I guess, some kids, like junior high school kids or something, that showed up late and then sat down behind me. And then, like, one of their friends would, like, not shut the fuck up. And she wasn't even talking about anything related to the movie and was, like, constantly giggling at the fact that she was talking. And all of her friends were like, shut the fuck up. And it was the weirdest thing because, like, all of her friends... Like, all the people that showed up to the movie with her were telling her to shut up, and it's like, why'd you even invite this girl? And so then I just switched seats and moved away from her because she was too annoying.
What if she commits? No, they don't want her to commit suicide by shooting herself at arm's length and then haunt their computers.
Yeah.
When I finished watching Cats, I yelled as loud as I could, "Masterpiece."
Good.
That was
at the end of 1917, people started to clap. Just a couple people. One guy was trying really hard to get the whole theater to clap, and then maybe one other person joined in after like 10 seconds. Everybody seemed to love it.
Generally okay.
It was disappointing for me. It left a sour taste in my mouth, honestly. It's not a terrible movie, but I was just like not on board.
All right, hey, I need to go. Some cunt keeps hacking my Domino's account and ordering pizzas.
All right, have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
You kick me. My phone's not letting me exit the call.
So I have to kick you? Can you just shut off your phone?
I'll have to restart it. It's
I don't know.
being a
I've never
bitch. It's
kicked people
flipping out
before.
like me on Easter. Okay, see ya.
Movie and experience. We'll take it easy, mate.
All right, remove.
Yeah,
There we go.
So other than the cinematography, like I felt like the acting was like quite kind of forced, and the music was really over the top. I don't know. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was like it was just a really basic war movie with some icing.
Like Hacksaw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break you.
Yeah, just
Adam, your comment about. Oh, sorry.
Just go for it. Yeah, I didn't have much more to say.
Your comment of the old lady at the theater reminded me. I worked in a movie theater for like a year, and it just reminded me of this one time that there was some shitty horror movie that came out around Halloween, and it had hell in the title, and some like group of old grandmas came to watch it because they thought it was like a religious movie.
Oh God, really?
And then they came out and started demanding a refund. And
what was the poster like?
Confused. It was, I think it was called like Hell Park or something. It was like a haunted amusement park, and so the poster was like kids on a
Hellfest.
roller coaster. Hellfest, that's it. Yeah.
Oh my
It was
god.
God.
Yeah. It did. I don't know. I guess they just looked at the title and didn't look at the poster or anything.
I was about to say Hell Park.
synopsis.
Hell Park sounds like a shitty title. Like,
yeah, it was Hellfest.
It seems like that one.
It's a little slightly better.
That's
Seems
so
like that
weird.
all
War movies. Modern
Actually, it
war
sounds like
movies,
another
War movies,
amusement
Private Ryan.
just by that name.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what
Yeah.
it looked like.
This
Yeah.
poster I'm
Yeah, I
looking
worked
at
at-
has
at a
just a
movie-
big Satan on it.
I'm like, oh, it's
Looks
gonna be
like
like a
shit.
Christian movie.
I thought it was about an adaptation of Paradise Lost or something.
The director of that movie edited Get Out.
Wow.
Really?
Which is why he was picked. You know, like The Descent
probably.
too.
I actually just
You
quit
doing
working at a
quickie
movie
for
theater.
1917. You reckon?
Sorry?
Or probably not. You reckon you'll be doing a quickie for 1917?
I've already
Or probably
recorded it. Damo's right now editing through The Grudge, and then the 1917 one will come later.
Speaking
So in the
of,
next
has
like
anyone
few
watched
days
that?
for both of them, probably.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, has anyone watched that video I shared?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It
no,
looked
I'll save
bad.
it for later.
It reminded me of things you would typically do with the physics gun in Gmod. So
Mhm.
it is.
Read the note that I put in the package.
Yes, I
That's
did.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I
That
appreciate
was
it.
Sure is. Oh, fun.
Ugh.
I don't
So am
know.
I like the only
Oh,
person
that-
here that saw The Grudge?
I
I
cannot
also
see it.
saw it.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was.
There's no good reason to see it.
I heard it was boring, or else I would have saw it.
It was
for-
so boring.
Oh yeah, you
What it
also
was.
you
Okay,
saw
so
it
there's-
because you
It's
like the
pretty
eyes of my
rare for me
mother.
to see bad movies in theaters.
You know what? If
Well,
that,
speaking of good movies, I'm assuming that the next recommendation is Come and See.
I mean, have we? Is that episode not public?
No, but it was on Reddit, so
I'm so confused at the timeline because we recorded 2 episodes really early. So we've actually already recorded the episode. Yeah, you're right. It's not public yet. It's public on Monday. And we've already recorded the next episode after that.
I hope my question got answered.
Yeah, so I was just gonna bring up that I actually always want to see that because it's also on the Criterion Channel. But also, I've just been so like distressed with the movie I was working on. So, it's like,
It is not a feel good movie.
yeah,
it's
Kind of
fucking heart wrenching.
Yeah, it's pretty good
why
though.
is that? Why is it that we don't like feel good movies?
You reckon you'll ever recommend Dear Zachary on the podcast? Or probably never.
I don't know, because like, what kind of discussion can you have about that movie other than just talking about how sad you are?
I guess like
I've never
laws of
seen
I
that
don't know
movie.
how full of a discussion we could have on that movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of just spelled.
What's like the
Documentaries in
premise of the
general.
movie?
I'll give you
just
the quick
Google it, I reckon.
spoiler-free synopsis. The filmmaker Kurt, the guy making the movie, his best friend was murdered by his wife, and because of the court system, the wife still managed to retain custody of their child, who was just a baby.
That's fucked.
And
That's not how it
and
works.
meanwhile, the parents of his dead best friend, who is their only child, are now forced to seek a attempt a civil relationship with the woman who murdered their only child. And the film itself is basically a love letter about his friend's life that he is intending on showing the child when he grows up. And that's the most basic spoiler-free synopsis I can give.
I recently saw a great documentary. I know you already saw it, but I would recommend to everyone to see it, called Jesus Camp.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was
Jesus
really
Camp?
surprised by
So
it.
infuriating.
I was really surprised by it, how good it was.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Jesus
I need to
Camp?
watch Hangout with Satan as well.
Jesus Camp is this movie about like all these kids that go to like this super religious camp.
Yeah, like Born Again.
And it's like the most psychotic shit. It's
like evangelicals like militarizing children.
They have these little kids give chick tracts to a woman in a bowling alley because her cleavage was showing.
Yeah.
I think it was chick tracts.
It was chick tracts. And they have them like dress up in war paint, like chanting that they're gonna die for Jesus, and they all like pray and hug like a cardboard cutout of George W. Bush.
This is gonna sound silly of me to ask, but did you guys just say it was a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe
Yeah,
places
it's
like
real.
this exist. Those are the kind of places that make
America.
Yeah, that sounds like my dad's old church.
Get me out of here.
It makes me happy for what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to move to Canada.
Yeah, there's crazy religious people here too. They're just not as many of them.
It doesn't. Yeah, religion is going to always have its crazies.
I live in Colorado. I live in Colorado, and there are a lot of wacky religious characters that always come up to me at like any bus station or train station.
I can't wait to hang out with all the Mormons in Park City, Utah for Sundance.
Trust me,
Oh my
they're not as bad as you think.
No, I've never had a bad experience with Mormons, honestly. Except for the one that
They have
stole
so
my
many
fucking
kids.
Flareon in fucking elementary school. That kid I'll
excuse
never
me?
forgive.
One absolute cunt. Tell the story. I want to hear the story now.
That is a war crime.
No, yeah, I've known like probably 3 different Mormon people in my life. 2 of them were awesome. She was like one of them. She was so nice. She found out it was my birthday in high school, and like I wasn't doing anything. And then she's like, "No, come over to my place. I'll bake you a cake." And she just baked me a cake. It was like the sweetest thing. Yeah, she was awesome. Meanwhile, this other kid in my elementary school was like, "Hey, can I borrow your Flareon, like my Pokemon card?" And I was naive, and I was like, "Okay." And then he never gave it back. He just took it home. I was like, "You fucking asshole! I'll never forget this."
Do you think it's framed over his mantle to this day?
He probably got rid of it. He probably still doesn't have it. I would like my Flareon back. It was shiny.
What if he sent you a
It
Flareon
is really
card?
fascinating what we commit to memory as from stuff that happens to us as kids. It's really fascinating.
It's funny because
Well,
I don't know.
Most of
I've
my
only
life
come
learning
across
experiences are just don't fucking trust people.
Yeah, are you gonna go to Canada?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I've said it many times. I don't need to see it anymore, but I'm surrounded by members of the LDS Church. They, and most of them are nice, but I ran into my fair share of zealots where they're like, "Oh, kids, don't go near that person. He's not of the faith."
Yeah, that exists.
He's Christian. He'll put bad thoughts into your mind and tell you about eternal suffering, which is not real.
I live 10 minutes away from a literal cult.
Nice.
They have a temple in the middle of a field. It's called Ekankar, and they believe that Jesus comes to you when you sleep. So they force everyone to sleep 18 hours a day.
Oh,
And
shit.
they like force you like sleeping medication. It's so
Oh, that's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
It's horrifying. It's so bad.
When you're sleeping, Jesus comes in you. I don't.
He just comes and gives you like a back massage. Or
He like talks to you and he just chills with everyone. It's so funny. It's the worst thing ever.
I find it very telling, and sorry to offend any religious people in this chat, but I find it very telling that every single religious institution, whenever they do something that's supposed to be some sort of religious experience, it's more or less just lulling you into a trance. Like, close eyes, head down, chant, like...
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, it makes
sorry,
you
religious people in this
Including
chat. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll just say this.
There's a psychological reason for it, is all I'm saying. It explains why religions are pervasive.
At my church, they just say pray however you pray. You know, so.
Yeah, one of the reasons I'm not religious is because of some like former friends of the family who were like super religious and fucking insane. They were very much in the don't watch Harry Potter camp, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My dad
Oh,
told me
those
to
are
read my
funny.
Harry Potter books.
And one of them like dead ass turned to me and said, "But homosexuality is a sin."
We're supposed to.
And I don't think I've ever wanted to punch someone harder. Like, fuck.
I find the Harry Potter thing so funny because I didn't even know it was a thing when I was growing up, and I found out about it later. I was like, out of all the things to get mad at as a religious person, Harry Potter? Like, what? It seems like a waste of time. It's like they're jealous.
Teach me, like,
they're jealous that they're jealous that children are interested in something that's not the Bible. Because they did the same thing with Pokemon too. It's like there's no real witchcraft in Pokemon.
As a game.
Yeah, it's like whenever something's really popular with kids, they have to explain to them why they're going to hell for liking it.
I think it's just because the magic users are literally called witches.
Are there witches in the Bible?
Yeah, kinda.
Kind
there's
of?
like
there's just
Are there sorcerers?
donkeys.
There
might be a grand
I don't know if they
wizard.
use the term witch, but I think in the Old Testament there was some shit about like, you know, don't cavort with shit. What was the exact wording?
Don't cavort with the devil.
No, like
Spike
I
Lee.
don't know. I'd have to look it up, but it was something kind of along the lines of like voodoo shit.
Have you guys seen the lady who was like trying to explain like monster as like this satanic kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Monster? Oh yeah, Monster Energy. Yeah.
Monster Energy.
Not Monster, the film starring Charlize
I
Theron.
thought you meant the Eileen Wuornos movie. Like,
So I pretty much consider myself a non-active Christian. So I still have faith.
I always get very like awkward when like because I live in Colorado and like a lot of people like try to come up to me and like try to like talk to me about like Christian, Mormon, like come to our church and stuff, and like I just because I share like mostly the same exact views as you, Adam. Like I just no religious beliefs just at all. Like it's
The
gonna
thing
happen.
is-
bazinga.
From my experience, I was in a really hard time in my life when it came to me, but it just felt like it spoke to me at the time, and I think that's where religion comes into play. Is
I think
you don't let it force it upon you. You have to kind of.
Oh no, I know exactly what you mean. I'm a person that was raised religious and was religious up until the age of 13. So.
And then you're like, this sounds like bullshit because I was raised Catholic and.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I just.
Hellish.
I started to understand the psychological elements at play and how they could be replaced with anything. You get the you get the same effect emotionally praying to God as you do praying to a pillow, that's what I realized.
Yeah, I mean, and I pray.
Yeah, lucky for me, literally the only person religious in our family is our mom, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And we don't mean to make you uncomfortable, by the way. Let us know if we're.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
Okay, look. So
And also,
I like to hear other people's opinions. It's very interesting to hear, and
I think
if it's like the "fuck you, you're Christian" sort of deal.
Get out of this call.
All right, fine.
Oh, I saw the worst fucking video. I think it was called "I Was Bullied for My Opinion."
My webcam's tangled a little.
Oops.
It was just this terrible, like, animated video where this little girl is crying that she was bullied and ostracized from her school for not supporting the LGBT community.
Oh.
What?
I mean, okay, that's another thing I was going to bring up. A lot of people also think this.
And she's like, it's my personal preference not to support the LGBT.
Yeah, it really depends what you mean by not support, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. She says, I don't agree with it. It's like, you don't agree with what?
It depends what you mean, because if you like, you can have a disagreement. You can have your own opinion. It really depends if you're trying to force that opinion down other people's throat or not.
Yeah,
so you got to be careful of what people are claiming versus like what's actually happening.
Yeah, have an opinion by all means, but do not force it down another person's throat.
I mean, a lot of people seem to get bullied for their opinion these days. I get bullied for my opinion, but not for
I just love.
Yeah, it's the world we live in, mate. Holy shit.
I've been very tempted to start my own like troll Twitter account so I can like mess with
I just always find it so funny when homophobes like say that they're persecuted.
I mean,
like, really? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's
also feels like that's also being skewed, the word homophobe.
I used to hate these kinds of people, but you gotta, I think at the end of the day, you have to kind of look at it from kind of like their perspective and see kind of life experiences they've had, how they've turned into the person they've turned into.
I agree.
Whether, like, there's malice behind it, or whether it's a case of they just had bad experiences.
Yeah, I am.
Like,
Sorry, go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, essentially, yeah, because like one of my instructors for like the thing I train, he's quite conservative, but like I look at his entire life and I go, okay, this is how he is the way he is, and I think that's perfectly okay. He's a reasonable person. He's open to discussion.
Yeah,
he has opinions I don't agree with, but you know, he's
we are all products of our environment, and I think there's a big difference between someone having beliefs that I would consider to be deplorable because they're mistaken versus someone who's intentionally like trolling or trying someone who's a bad faith actor versus someone who's just stupid. Right. I'm not gonna hate on someone being stupid, because in my opinion, the vast majority of people on this planet are fucking stupid. So I would have to hate everybody.
You're not wrong.
I mean, think about all the stupid
especially when it comes to movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at me, for instance. I fucking did a screen share without considering the fucking consequences of that.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, but
it's funny.
As I was gonna say though, is it's like I'm very centrist. Most people in my picture just like pretty centrist. They're all very open to the LGBTQ community. We respect anyone because in our faith we believe down to earth, love and caring and compassion, and that's something that should be within any other faith. I would honestly love it if we were in a world without hate, but sadly that is not within our grasp.
I don't live in where people will always see the worst in others. So, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. But the thing is, these flaws is what makes us human, and I think that's what we need to come to terms with.
Yeah, it's just some people seem more flawed than others.
Yeah, I mean, look
like
at me. I'm
one guy in particular who destroys his pajamas.
What?
Who seems to have nothing but flaws.
I mean,
what? Who are you talking about? Destroys his pajamas.
I'm talking about the yeah.
The thing is, it's weird because I
see. I see. Okay, there we
go. Degenerate.
Yeah, I don't believe he doesn't argue honestly. He's more concerned about winning than he is about like an actual discussion. So.
Although I feel like
just facts and logic.
Yeah,
I like when he got butthurt and ran away from an interview. That was funny.
There's the rise of like conservative talkers, especially on the internet. The reason why they become so popular is because they have some arguments up their sleeve regarding, censorship, regarding free speech, regarding like SJW types, and like these are things that like most people can get behind, whether you're like liberal centrist, liberal or conservative or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah.
then,
For sure.
like their entire set of beliefs, which they don't promote nearly as much because they're not really winning arguments, are ones like Steven Crowder. He spends his entire time talking about like SJWs and going to college campuses and stuff like that, and he seems like, oh my god, this guy is like he's winning all these arguments. But then like the arguments that he won't have with people, like if you ever were debating him, if you wanted to change the subject to like marijuana legalization or gay marriage or something like that, he would seem like such a fucking out of touch crazy boomer in a heartbeat. But because they stick to these concepts that like everybody on the internet is like, yeah, fuck off, like why do we need to be so concerned about the language people use, or like, you know, they pick these things like digital blackface that like nobody takes seriously, and it seems like they have winning arguments, but at their core, like their other sets of beliefs that they don't promote as much are kind of like embarrassing and make them look stupid.
This is why Shapiro fights college students. Like,
Adam, what do you think of Ben Shapiro?
I think he sounds like a bee. I think he should have been in Bee Movie.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, like a bumblebee.
Like I said, I'm very impartial about Ben Shapiro.
Oh man,
there are some things like, you know, I'm very against the whole radical SJW community, and I mean I support if you want to give equal rights to everyone, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to make it so that they oppress another person.
There's a friend of my mom's who fucking loves Ben Shapiro, and it drives me up the wall.
I can't believe
she gets all of her news from like the Daily Wire.
Oh, nice.
Honestly, though, I'm not one of those people though that believe he should be president, because
that believes what?
Really be ideal. I do not believe that he should be president, because
who believes he should be president?
No, I'm one of those people that believe Ben Shapiro should be president, because I do not believe that should be the case. I believe that should be left up to somebody who has been aiming for that their entire lives. So.
Yeah, I don't know who believes he should be president is what I'm saying.
Does he want to
There
be
are some
president?
his fans, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
I'm sure all of his fans are like, Ben will save our country from the gays.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What kind of a fucking president would that be? That would be ridiculous.
That would be weird.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine having an inexperienced president who says weird things.
I want Judge Judy as president. I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, let's just continue throwing game show hosts into.
She's like, I don't know. I watch her
Alex
shit.
Trebek.
Judge Judy's very entertaining, but she seems like really level-headed. She seemed like she's very
Bergeron
respectable. I love Judge
I was
Judy.
about to say Tom Bergeron.
I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's very fair and honest. I don't know what her policy decisions would be though. So
Seth MacFarlane.
I don't know if like any judges in real life like behave like that though.
She should be on Supreme Court.
I can't do the voice.
It's hammed up for TV. Like,
oh, of course, 100%.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched any of those?
I feel like she's still like a great judge though.
Have you guys seen?
Like, I think if a real life judge acted like Judge Judy did, like they'd get fired pretty quickly, or whatever the term is for like not being allowed to be a judge anymore.
What?
Indicted, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like it's not a real court, so.
I know.
No. Okay, so
like most of the people that go up there are not there like with attorneys or anything.
Well, it's civil court, not criminal court.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so. That's true.
Yeah. Sorry, your case has been moved to Judge Judy's court. You'll be represented by yourself. And good luck. We've rigged the game.
Hey Adam, this is unrelated, but do you think you'll go to Cannes this year?
Yeah, I actually just got to remember to send a press application. I think they might be open already. Let me look that up. Oops.
I'm gonna go to TIFF this year.
Are you gonna attend the 420 2020 awards?
I'm not gonna attend, but it might be live streamed.
No, I'm not gonna attend.
Derek might shoot you if he recognizes you. So
I don't trust.
Are there
the
any
guy.
movies you're excited for?
He's gonna like shoot you in his cool cat costume or something like that.
I'm hoping to go to TIFF.
Kevlar fursuit.
Okay, so I have until March 31st to submit my application. It looks like.
Well,
I think they're open already. I got to do that.
If I may ask, how much does it usually cost to go to Cannes?
The
expenses.
Well, I mean, like, so the festival itself is free,
wow.
but it's invite only, so you have to apply. I got in by doing the 3 days at Cannes program for 18 to 28-year-olds. I'm going to be 29 by the next time, or sorry, I think it's 20 to 28-year-olds. I'm going to be 29 by the next time, so I have to actually submit a press accreditation, which hopefully should get me, hopefully I'll get a good foot in the door by having been there twice already.
Have you become like me?
But the like, I don't know. It depends. If you're already in Europe, then it's probably not that expensive at all to travel there. If you're where I am in Canada, then it's an expensive flight, and then you also have to pay for hotel, and then food can be expensive too. So it's an expensive trip, but the festival itself is free.
I thought you meant 18 to 28-year-olds.
From that, from Canada to Italy. Italy?
Sorry, what? It's Cannes is France.
Yeah, sorry, France. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, are you kind of like me, where I just really don't care about my age?
Yeah, the plane ticket is like at least $1,000. The first year I went, it was like $2,000 because I didn't even get my confirmation that I was going until like a week before the festival. So it was like a $2,000 plane ticket.
Wait, so
are you going to? Oh, sorry.
Oh, when you saw movies like Under the Silver Lake and like The Lighthouse, were they in like French subtitles or something?
They have so English movies will have French subtitles. Some screenings will have English and French subtitles. So The Lighthouse I actually watched with English and French subtitles. Yeah, for the vast majority of them, you're supposed to be able to watch it whether you speak English or French. French is the priority because it's a French festival. But yeah, there's like a couple screenings here and there where it's like only French subtitles.
What about Parasite?
Do you speak French?
Juste un petit peu, just a little bit, not very much.
Wait, so Parasite had like English and French?
Yeah,
like Parasite?
English and French subtitles, and I made them so the film, the screen, right? The subtitles are on the screen for French, like at the bottom of the screen, and then they have a separate little like stand-up screen below the actual screen for English subtitles. So the French ones are hard-coded into the actual video, and the English ones are like on a separate little thing that they put underneath the screen. And so for Parasite, I actually learned a valuable lesson. We were really close to the beginning of the line. We lined up like 3 hours early to see it because it was like a must-see sort of thing.
Right.
And because you have like the badges, there's only a certain amount of people that can get in. You don't have like a guaranteed ticket. You don't have like a reserved seat or anything. So we lined up really early, and then when we got in, it's like, oh yeah, I want to sit close to the front, like get a good view over here or whatever. And I learned that I shouldn't have done that for that theater because with the English subtitles being below, it was actually I had to like do that the whole movie to see over people's heads for the subtitles, whereas if I were in the balcony, it would have been fine.
Oh, okay.
So I was straining myself, but I was able to enjoy it. Sorry? What's the question?
Sorry, I asked if you were going to go to TIFF too.
Yeah, I plan to do TIFF every year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to TIFF this year because I've been to a few festivals, but this would be like my first like major like feature length film festival.
I just finally got my passport, so.
Woo! Yeah, I would love to go to TIFF sometime.
TIFF is my favorite. It's the best one.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to go this year. Excited for that.
Do you reckon Hollywood guys will get back to TIFF this year as well, or
who? What?
Do you think the Hollywood guys will come back this year for?
I don't know. I have no idea. They have like a 9-year visa now, which is really weird.
Are they still banned on Twitter?
I think so.
What?
Very unfortunate.
Wow.
Did Twitter ever give a reason as to why they were banned?
No, Twitter's stupid.
Yeah, Twitter is.
It's pretty retarded. It's
Yeah, it
becoming
sucks.
the new Tumblr.
Because like it's a very useful tool for like networking and business, but like just I don't know. It's like you got to be careful what you do on there, otherwise they just ban you for no reason.
I guess this is just something I saw, but I guess people actually got over the
What?
Trump wall.
Were you gonna say something?
Somebody climbed over the Trump wall. Good job, Trump.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
that's funny.
Oh, it's great.
Did you hear
Meanwhile,
about
Australia's on fire. God
That
damn.
wall is completely useless because
Yeah, it's
not
bigger
only can
news
you
than
just
Australia being on fire. So
first off, you could just blow it up, honestly, and secondly, there's like thousands of underground tunnels.
Did you guys hear about the lady
I've
who
seen
was a,
Sicario.
oh,
I've seen
she-
Sicario.
there was like
the
an
wall
old lady.
won't- The wall won't even slightly like slow people down. It does nothing. It's just a money sink.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's just a visual deterrent. So I don't know. Or what?
Yeah.
I
it's
know.
silly. Anyway,
There was that lady who lived like near the border who was a Trump supporter, and then they had like the plans and they put her house on the Mexico side of the wall, and she was really
Oh.
mad. I remember reading about that.
oh,
Are there any movies that you're like really excited for Sundance at?
just the chance
The only one is the David Bruckner one, really. I'm
Does he do
kind of
David Bruckner?
excited
Oh, shit.
for And Then We Danced. And then I'll check out Minari if I can. But yeah, the new David Bruckner is the one that I actually want to see.
How did
This
you
is
like?
the one
pick out-
where he also wrote the script as well, yeah? So it's
Oh, I
not
don't
like
know.
he's adapting something?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, never mind. I was wrong. So it is the type of fence that Trump plans on using.
The Night House. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Did
not
anyone
not the
see-
lighthouse, the night house.
Yeah, the Night House. Yeah, so he didn't write it, but okay, cool. Interesting.
Did anyone see Underwater? Because I've heard it was actually okay.
It was decent.
I don't know.
was
The
underwater.
reviews aren't great. I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Okay, wait, hold on. So
Have
fill me in. What is
fun.
underwater?
It's a new
Without spoilers.
movie.
When you're below the surface of the water. Sorry, that was mean.
I don't know.
Thank
I
you.
watched Chris Stuckman's video. He gave it a B, and
Yeah, I heard it's fine.
but
Yeah, it's like a Chris Stewart underwater horror movie that 20th Century Fox just that they made it and then Disney just dumped it in January because they didn't want to deal with it at any other point when they actually had movies that they wanted to release.
but supposedly it's better than a lot of shitty January releases. So
Yeah,
I,
it is. It definitely
think-
is.
Gosh, speaking of which, I think Soma has kind of like inspired me to kind of go for something like that. Something like set underwater, and it's like a nice psychological horror. I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
Bioshock, yeah.
Like I don't know. It's something that I've always kind of dreamt of. Alongside with doing a proper fantasy story, but whatever that means. But
Yeah. Pretty dope.
wait, what's this? Trending in the United States. Deku.
Adam.
Deku.
Hello.
Grubs.
So I saw that on your top songs of 2019 on Spotify that you were listening to Sophie a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
Sophie's
Yeah,
great.
I love Sophie. I actually have a recommendation that's very similar to Sophie. She does a lot of production for this group. It's a band called Let's Eat Grandma. It's really, really good.
Okay.
They're like the two 19-year-old British best friends that play 18 instruments between the two of them.
Okay.
And they make super like surreal, ethereal art pop. And it's
Okay, I'll
really,
check it out
really
at some
great.
point.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. If you like
Thanks.
Sophie, then yeah, it's definitely up your alley for that.
Okay. There was one other artist that Sophie like produced for
Charlie XCX is
Yeah.
one that she does.
Yeah, I'm not big on that. I was linked to that at one point. I didn't really get into it.
Yeah, Melon. Anthony Fantano, his favorite album of the last year was Charlie XCX's new album.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Band I can really recommend is Tame Impala, but it's a pretty easy choice.
Did you watch any more Kimba or?
I've seen a good amount of it, and I'm trying to, cause like, even from that that highlight thing, there's people in the comments and on the subreddit saying, like, what? It wasn't the show. It was from like this other movie. But like none of these people have watched any of them, and they haven't like actually given any evidence as to like every single one of these people always brings up like the Matthew Broderick quote where he said that when he was called about the Lion King to play the voice of Simba, he thought it was supposed to be for Kimba the White Lion. That doesn't mean anything. He hadn't even like seen any like of the concept art at that point, I don't even think. Like, he literally just got a phone call and misheard Simba as Kimba and was like, oh yeah, a story about a lion. I saw this show as a kid. Like, that's not really a point towards, like, copyright infringement. And supposedly the other aspect is that, like, some of the concept art looked similar in terms of, like, some shots from Kimba looking the same as some of the concept art. But it's like, if the concept art was just concept art, and that wasn't even in the actual movie, like, who cares if it was a bit inspired by Kimba, if that was the case, right? Like, there are people that worked on The Lion King that had seen Kimba, and if it was inspired, that's fine. But, like, people are treating this as though it's, like, an actual copyright infringement issue, which I completely disagree with. They are totally different products.
Was it inspired by it? Who knows?
Yeah, and like, yeah, the lengths that people go to stretch this theory, and a lot of these people have not even seen Kimba, and they say like, oh yeah, the character Polly, because he's a bird, that's supposed to be Zazu, but their characters are entirely different. Polly's like always got like these beefy arms trying to fucking fight things. Like, he's like a bad-tempered, like, loses his cool all the time kind of guy.
Like fucking,
and then like the other, the baboon character or whatever, it's like, oh, that's Rafiki. It's like, they're not the same character. They're really not the same character at all. When you make a story with lions in it, you're gonna have other African animals as their friends. And it's like, there's so many animal friends that Kimba had that are not in The Lion King. There's so many Lion King characters that were not in Kimba. Kimba never had a meerkat. You know, there was a warthog for one episode in Kimba who was not like Pumbaa at all.
Seth Rogen.
Right? And like, yeah, Kimba was friends with like an antelope or something. That wasn't really in The Lion King. Like, it's radically different. And I hate how the majority of people that support and push this theory are doing so not because they've actually seen and compared the two films or shows, but because they saw a video on the internet of people like stretching as far as they possibly can to try and connect the two. Like, if there's similarities and it was inspired, then fine, but like, it's not a copyright infringement issue at all.
Bayless I think he's shooting it down in the YMS. Sorry.
No,
yeah, that's why I'm watching them, is because I want to at least mention it.
I mean, the thing is, I remember Bayless when he was reviewing the Dingo Pictures, King Lion or whatever it was called, son of the whatever. He said that it was speculated, I think, and didn't like accuse it, thankfully. And I don't know.
Would you make the same argument if Kimba came out after The Lion King?
What? That it's copyright infringement?
No, that it isn't. That you're like that. They still had the debate, but you still disagree with it. Would you still disagree with it if Kimba came after them?
They're completely different products.
Absolutely.
They're not the same.
There's a difference between inspiration and full-on ripping off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, so
if you want to see ripping off, look at Dingo Pictures. It may not be the same story, but it is the same character design.
There's like a 30-year gap between the two. They're not trying to provide the same experience at all. Like
30-year gap?
Well, I mean, Kimba came out in the 60s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know that.
Actually, you know what?
The movie I think was like the 90s though.
That's like one of the movies, and the 90s movie came out after The Lion King.
No, I think
the
there was
90s
like
movie
another
was
one.
97. Sorry?
I thought there was another one.
There's well, I'm gonna go through the wiki right now because it's like, yeah, it's really confusing when people make these arguments without having actually seen them. Hold on one second.
We're gonna get a Kimba live action remake in 2020.
Yeah, so the entire
Oh yeah, here it is, 91. There was an OVA.
OVA. So I found that on YouTube, and it literally just looks like the show. It's like 40 minutes long or something. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet, but like, at no point does it feel like The Lion King.
Are you gonna ever
Like I don't know what that OVA film is, or if anybody saw it. Like, it's impossible to find. That's why it's on YouTube. The guy uploaded it because he can't get it anywhere. So, like, I don't know. I think people are really stretching because, like, there's a bigger argument to be had when it comes to, like, Kimba versus Simba sort of thing. And I should mention that, you know, Simba means lion in Swahili, so that's why the name sounds similar. You could come to that independently regardless. But the like this type of story plays on people's emotions in a way where it's like everybody hates Disney. I hate Disney. I love The Lion King, but I hate Disney.
Yep.
And when you look at like when you hear this accusation that like, ooh, Disney ripped off some poor foreign person's work. Like, you know, people immediately want to believe that, you know? It's like, it's a story that sounds believable. Like, I believed it until I watched the show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue doing my research and watching every single bit of this fucking thing, all these different ones, and I'm going to see if my perspective's changed. But, like, it really does not seem like a copyright infringement issue at all. At the very most, it was, like, loosely inspired. And when I say loosely inspired, it's like, oh, a talking lion. I'll make a thing about a talking lion, as if, like, you're not allowed to because somebody else did. Like, it's so stupid. And people are calling me biased in the subreddit because I like The Lion King, and nobody in the subreddit, there was not a single comment of somebody saying that they'd actually seen anything from Kimba. And they were defending this argument.
In the comments of my highlight video, everyone just says, well, he's just a fanboy and he's biased.
But none of these people had seen Kimba. I want to hear somebody say that they've actually seen, they've done the comparisons for themselves. Because like the one video, the video comparing all these things on YouTube, when it has the like clips from The Lion King, they're not just comparing it to like one Kimba property. And when they do these like side by side things, like first of all, half of them is just like, oh, there were alligators in this show. There were alligators in one shot in this show. It's like, okay.
Which video?
If you just search up Kimba Simba, I think it's probably like one of the first ones. Yeah, here we are.
I just saw the Saber Spark one, but
okay, I don't think I saw the Saber Spark one, but there's like literally this.
The Saber Spark video was
7 minutes 42 seconds long. Kimba and The Lion King. How similar are they? And it goes on for literally just 7 minutes of like this, stretching the hardest that they possibly can. And look at this person's profile. First of all, they're like so uber furry that like. Like this person has probably watched Kimba like a billion fucking times, and like there's no other way they could find all these different shots because like you can't like the concept art of zebras walking, like what do you can't show zebras?
What the fuck is he talking about?
You can't show zebras? Like you got
Just
like
because...
Kimba's dad standing on a cliff. It's like, yeah, he stood on a cliff at one point. It wasn't like super.
I mean, honestly, standing on a cliff kind of shows pride. And fearlessness.
I don't know.
So,
like,
why wouldn't
the ones that seem like they could be the worst would be like the you see like the Lion King uses like, oh yeah, the relatives are always looking down on you, and he sees his dad in the sky or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. Kimba wasn't the first piece of art to show like dead people in the sky or something, was it? Like, are these like the only two things that have done that? I don't know.
I mean,
Like, if the concept art was similar and they moved away from that, like, whatever. Why does that matter?
I'd like to imagine just
Disney did do one thing kind of shitty though, because there was like the '97 movie, I think they tried to like shut it down. For, like,
that's lame. Yeah, I would disagree with that completely. I would not defend Disney in that decision at all. Yeah, I think I heard about that. Where they tried to be like, what? Kimba's a ripoff of Simba. You're not allowed to do this movie. Like, that's lame. And that's totally something Disney would do. But yeah, I don't think that the creative people that made The Lion King made it as a ripoff of Kimba.
Well,
they really did not.
It had gazelles in it.
And just because there's a villain in Kimba who has his eye closed all the time does not mean that that's Scar. They're completely different characters. And it's like, it's such a common... Sorry?
Yeah. Scar has 2 eyes anyway.
It's such a common trope to have a villain with like some sort of facial deformity. A scar on your face is like, that's like a James Bond thing too. Like, that's such a common trope.
Yeah.
You can't just say like Kimba's the only piece of work that has had a character with a scar on their face that's evil. That's so stupid.
Kimba takes on the Spetsnaz.
Disney did something recently that pissed me off so much. Terrence Malick's A Hidden Life. That's owned by Fox Searchlight. That's Fox Searchlight, and of course Disney owns Fox now.
Oh.
And there were so many, and they were releasing it on Christmas Day, and they were planning some sort of release for it. But then, because of Disney not wanting to jeopardize their other films that they were promoting over award season, they essentially buried the entire release and made it impossible for independent theaters to play the movie.
Of course.
Which was so infuriating.
Yeah, I hate Disney.
That was my favorite movie of last year.
I can't wait for them to screw over Wes Anderson. Because Wes Anderson always works with Fox Searchlight. I guess just to finish off this Kimba rant thing, what kind of pisses me off here is like the comparison footage from The Lion King is an hour and a half of their film, right? The comparison footage for Kimba is not just from the show, which is literally over 1,000 minutes long. Not just from that, but all of the other Kimba works is what they're using to compare it to. And so you'll get like one shot out of the entire like fucking billion hours of this Kimba thing. One shot where the baboon's holding a stick, and then they go like, ooh, see, Rafiki held a stick too at one point. It's like, what? The baboon in Kimba, that wasn't like his prop. I'm like 45 episodes through this show. I haven't seen him hold a stick once. So they take like a moment where it was probably a plot device where he picked up something and then pretended as though like it's so dishonest. It's so dishonest.
You see, Adam, it's unrealistic for a monkey to carry a stick.
Yeah. Like
it's not like they have thumbs or anything.
So. If people wanted to make this Kimba Simba comparison, that's totally fine. But like these videos that have persuaded people are really, really dishonest. The ones like this one like without commentary, just showing like two different shots that kind of look similar. Oh yeah, it shows Pumbaa and the warthog that was in one episode. Like, fuck off! The warthog was in one episode, and they were not similar at all. You're not allowed to make a story about lions that has warthogs in it. Fuck off! Like, yeah, they both had shots of their butts. Yeah, because when you think about it colloquially, if you have a character that's going to be a pig character, and you're writing a story that might have a child audience, you're probably going to be like, haha, butts, pigs are smelly, haha. Like, that's a colloquial thing, right? Like, how do you think that people couldn't come up with that independently? I think that's stupid.
I don't know. Like, how many times have you seen a pig in a show and they have to at least, like, you know, show its ass like that? It's...
What is Ron's done?
I don't know. It's frustrating.
What's wrong with what?
I don't know. Again, I'm willing to say that perhaps Simba or The Lion King in general was inspired by Kimba in some way, But these side by side shot comparisons are just fucking so dishonest, and they're taken from like literally just a bajillion hours of footage to get this 7 minutes.
This scene has a zebra drinking out of a lake. Clearly, this was stolen.
So much of it is stretching so hard.
I mean, isn't The Lion King also Hamlet?
Yeah, it's more similar to Hamlet than it is to Kimba.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fuzzy Hamlet.
It's just when you make a show that's going to be like 60 episodes and then have a bunch of different spin-offs and like a movie and an OVA film or whatever the fuck that is. I don't even know what that is.
What is
original?
again?
It says an original video animation film using symphonic poem for its audio. So like I skimmed over it on YouTube. I didn't even see it yet, but it just seemed like a clip show of like parts of the show or something. I don't really know what the hell that was, but it didn't seem like The Lion King. There was no dialogue.
Most of the time, OVAs are like people know them mostly as.
But yeah, when you have, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're good. It's mostly people mostly know them for like special like side episodes of like big animes or something like that. They're like something that's like a kind of like a spin-off or like separate from like something else.
When you have so many hours and you literally start with the base concept of this is a story about a lion in Africa, you're going to exhaust every single possible avenue that exists, right? In the same way that South Park made an episode where they criticized people that said Simpsons did it. It's like, yeah, Simpsons has been going on forever. When you have like an animated sitcom, you're going to explore these different avenues. So just because something eventually does it later, it's like, well, what? You've already done everything. Like, of course you're going to have a warthog character for an episode because warthogs can be found in this environment, right?
Exactly.
You can't just be like, oh, they had a warthog. You can't do that. Like, it's so annoying.
So what, you want me to make a fictional character or bring another animal from a different complete habitat over to the Sahara Desert? Like, come on.
What's really funny is like when I say that they absolutely exhausted everything, I'm not even kidding. Like Kimba went to Paris. Kimba went to the World Fair in Paris.
Okay, well I don't think I saw
Kimba wore his dead dad.
Oh yeah, the dead dad comes back all the time. It's really funny. He's
My
literally a
favorite
corpse.
Part, though, was why couldn't all the elephants be as nice as Pee-wee? Then they wouldn't have had to be exterminated.
It's so good. It's so funny.
Like, holy shit.
Actually, I have to ask, speaking of, while we're on this topic, are you ever going to like touch on the whole Dingo Pictures thing?
I don't know if that's worth touching on.
Well, I wouldn't say like big a focal point, but like as a side gag.
I don't know how I'm going to... I don't know how I would put that into my review without feeling like it's drifting away from the main subject.
Fair point.
Yeah.
It would seem out of place. I feel like that would be a separate video if I ever made it. Just like I was debating talking about the unauthorized Indian like Bollywood remake of Old Boy, but I didn't put that in my review. That might be another video. I don't know. I could make a video about that, but it didn't seem like it would fit in the actual like case that I was making, sort of thing.
And there's a lot of like Lion King ripoff shit. Like, there's a movie on Netflix called Leo the Lion that is like fucking horrible.
Oh yeah.
Is that not? Is that something completely different?
No, it's not Kimba, nor is it Lion King. It's about a vegetarian lion, and it's like this really obvious Lion King ripoff. Like they even plagiarize "Be Prepared."
Oh no.
And the worst thing is that, like, at one point, the main character, I think he, like, holds another animal down and tries to drink her milk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so statutory.
Like, it was very, very strange.
I gotta end this hangout pretty soon. Does anybody have any final questions or comments?
Yeah. I was just gonna say about that scene. It kind of reminded me of the Me, Myself, and Irene scene where.
Oh, I don't remember.
A woman breastfeeding.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering if do you ever dock or add points on a movie based on memorability?
In the same Well, I mean, I think that would influence my overall score, but it's not like. Yeah, sometimes I remove points if I look at the movie and I'm like, wow, that's a high rating for a movie I don't even fucking remember. Sometimes I'll just dock it down one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't leave an impression, that's something.
Yeah.
Any other?
I have one last recommendation.
Yes.
So it's kind of an odd recommendation, but I think you'd actually love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this 8-episode HBO show called Euphoria.
This
And
might be on my watch list.
If you liked Waves, I think you'd like it. It's a show based on the director's life, where in his teenage years he was a drug addict. So it's essentially him making a show that is, in a sense, semi-autobiographical about his life, and I think it's fantastic. It's got my favorite cinematography for a show. It's ridiculously well shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
At some
recommend
point.
it. Karsten Rehnquist made a video about it, about how much he loved it. Yeah,
Isn't that the one with Zendaya?
Yep, Zendaya does a fantastic job in it. That's the best performance from a former Disney star that I think could have ever been done. It was insane.
Thoughts on Sia making epic music for that Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Dolittle movie?
Oh god, that's so funny.
I didn't know she was involved at all, and it doesn't really make a difference.
It's old news by now, but did you guys know that they made a black version of Jacob's Ladder?
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I forgot. Nobody saw it. So.
Yeah, I mean the first, the original's better.
Any other questions, comments
I heard about
before
the
I
Doolittle thing.
Before I head out?
So this was already a Donacast question before, but I was wondering, since it was a long time ago and your opinion might change, or
Sure.
a lot more later. What were your favorite recommendations that weren't yours?
No, I think Barry Lyndon's still the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's my favorite out of the ones that were recommended.
Is that Madagascar?
Yeah.
I heard that thing about Doolittle, but I don't know who Sia is. I thought they said Seal did the music for.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Doolittle.
What's the worst recommendation?
Because
I haven't been watching Sardonic.
Depends what you mean by worst. Because if we're talking rating scale, then probably Ben and Arthur. I don't know.
What about didn't you give Jacob's Ladder a 6 or something?
I think that Jacob's Ladder is probably the most uninvested I was overall for one of them. Actually, no, I mean I don't know. Madagascar 2 was a pain. That was a chore. Jacob's Ladder was fine, but it didn't leave a huge impression on me, sort of thing.
Well, didn't you not like Eraserhead?
I appreciated Eraserhead and had criticisms of Eraserhead and still gave it a positive rating. But I'm just not that big into it. I didn't think it was a masterpiece and everybody got mad.
I think from what I've learned over the past few months of doing these hangouts is that you're not gonna pin something as a masterpiece for being in its time.
Yeah, I guess you can still appreciate something's influence and place in history, but if it doesn't, if you don't connect with it, then what can you do?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is the only reason I like Jacob's Ladder is because I play. Well, I haven't watched the movie, but I appreciate its message. But they, it sounds weird that I say I've never watched.
The issues I had with Eraserhead, I actually just realized that they were actually a part of David Lynch's idiosyncrasies. Because after watching Mulholland Drive, I realized, oh, this is just a thing that he does.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of made me appreciate Eraserhead more.
I mean, I don't know if I was under any other impression that a lot of things are just things that he does.
the weird acting kind of bothered me, but then I realized, oh, that's just what he does.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like that was intentional.
Yeah, go for it.
I had a question and something to share. First question. So I thought I'd ask for one of my friends your thoughts on a movie, and that movie is Moulin Rouge.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember the soundtrack.
Wow,
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? That was from that, right?
I think so. I actually haven't even seen it, but it's one of her favorite movies. So I thought I'd ask.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. All I was gonna say about that whole thing with Jacob's Ladder is it was a great inspiration for Silent Hill and.
Oh yeah.
Silent Hill and Jacob's Ladder also inspired one of my favorite games, Lost in Vivo. If you're interested in more games, I have to recommend Lost in Vivo is one of them. So
perhaps.
Yeah, it's got great themes of PTSD. So
go, Jaynard.
And the other quick thing that I thought would be cool to share, you guys might think is cool, is I got a lot of money for Christmas for Amazon Prime, so I picked up this signed Lighthouse script.
What?
Oh,
cool! You got that on Amazon?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, it's signed by Willem Dafoe.
How many of those were there?
Oh God! Wow.
It was the only one in stock, but there was one signed by Robert Pattinson and Robert Eggers as well and stuff.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, I didn't know that that was like an Amazon thing.
Yeah, I was having fun looking through it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
That's actually Willem Dafoe's signature too. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. Just
thanks for sharing
that with you guys.
I really want to get one.
Any other final questions and comments from people that didn't get to ask?
I mean, I have one, but I feel like I've been talking too much, so I don't want to.
Well, let's let other people who haven't asked yet, and then
yeah, I've got like a small question. Do you happen to know about the YouTube channel, the Cosmonaut Variety Hour?
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with them, but I've watched a couple other things and enjoyed it.
Yeah, because because a lot of people on the subreddit too have been like wondering that he'd be a great guest on the show because he's a fan of the podcast, and also Alex has mentioned being a fan of his.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that could work out.
I was just curious because I'm also a really big fan of his content, and I know a lot of other people who would really like to see him on the show, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we'll be figuring out guests probably more in February or March or something. Just not right now while I'll be doing Sundance and stuff.
I was gonna ask. I asked this in my first hangout with you guys. Did you add a silent voice to your watch list?
Probably. I don't remember what it is.
It's a Japanese animated movie, or it's just about a deaf girl.
Oh yeah, it's on my watch list.
Oh, okay.
I'll be watching it.
That'll put my friend
when I do my 2016 thing.
Okay, my friend, he's been asking me to ask you when you're doing it, and so I keep telling him I don't.
Within the next year, I'll be watching it.
All right, well that'll ease his qualms then. So.
Yeah. Augie, you had one more question.
Yeah. What are your least favorite movies on IMDb's top 250?
Oh man.
Rated. I didn't know if I should have asked this because this would take a long.
Let's see if I can just pick out one really quickly.
Yeah, that's why I was hesitant to ask it.
Let's see what is on the top 250. I'm not a big fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Parasite's number 27. Awesome. Holy shit. Interstellar was all right. Probably doesn't deserve to be on the top 250. It's in the top 40.
I was never crazy about Whiplash, but that's just my preference. But that's on there, I know.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises. Coco was all right. Oh Jesus, yeah. There's like a Bollywood movie on here that I rated 3 stars and I didn't finish. Oh yeah, there's 3 Idiots, another Bollywood movie that I rated 1 star and didn't finish.
Speaking of idiots, people are spamming the chat.
Capernaum's on the fucking top 250. What the hell? That was so trash. Capernaum was like really soulless Oscar bait. Holy shit. Green Book is on the top 250. Ew. Ford v Ferrari was fine, I guess. Inside Out, not a fan. Room, not a fan.
Oh god, I hated Inside Out.
Oh wait.
Gran Torino's all right. Hacksaw Ridge, ew. Bad.
I'm gonna beat you now.
You know the rules.
Yeah, those are the ones that I've rated. Capernaum, what the fuck? Why is that on the top 2? There's some like, I don't know. There's some foreign language films where it feels like everybody in their country rated it 10 out of 10 because it's from their country.
Holy shit, it's dark out now.
Actually, we are. I can't say we're like today. We're the closest to it, but this week we've been kind of closer to the sun. So.
All right. Anybody who didn't get to ask a question or anything? Final question. I gotta go. Everybody good?
I think you get a kick out of the fact that my cultural psychology class had us watch Green Book.
Oh no. Very educational.
And write about it in our final essay of the class too.
I have one more cool thing to share if you want to hear it.
Sure, one more.
So I'm working right now with Eli Roth's brother, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what a sizzle reel is?
No.
It's essentially making a trailer for something that doesn't exist yet, so that you can show it to financiers and investors.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm currently making a sizzle reel for a show that Eli Roth's brother is executive producing that they're pitching to NBC this month.
Okay. I don't know what the hell is happening with chat, but we're ending this. We're ending this thing either way. I think we got raided or something. It was weird. All right. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll catch you guys next month. Thank you for your support. Peace out.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Bye, Adam.
Yeah, next month.